Okay, refresh the page. We'll see. Oh, there he is. Okay, he's not loading in anymore. Uh, and I'm gonna be eating at the same time while we do this because I didn't get a chance to eat either.
Not a problem.
So Simple or Neil should be getting. I just sent him the invite, told him, so he's on Facebook. So
Yo, can you hear
just
me now?
yeah, there we go. There he is. We can hear you
Alright.
loud and clear. Thank you. Do you want to put this one in the fridge? Thank you.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too, Fox.
Yeah. So Tomberry, this is my friend Beltane Fox, and Beltane, this is my brother Tomberry.
Very cool.
So, I forgot to turn off the Pokemon thing, but I didn't see it activate, so I think we're good. Just like we're in the middle of a horror thing, and all of a sudden, a freaking Pokemon just pops up. Hey, are you gonna catch it?
Going over the God of War, man.
Dude, those fusions, I've seen them. All right, so we're still waiting on one more, but he should. I sent them out. It's sending the request already. So we're just waiting on that. And I kind of got the music going in the background, very light music, but ominous horror music. I'm like, it doesn't need to be for everything yet.
Yep.
So I was gonna ask you, and I've never asked because I was well, I guess I'll ask after we introduce ourselves. Something about the what you do. So
Can you elaborate?
Beltane tarot reading.
Yeah. What about it?
Just the whole thing, like what got you into it and stuff like that. But I figured let's introduce ourselves first, and then we'll go from there because
Okay.
that's something I'm very curious on.
We'll start with you two first.
All right.
Alright.
Me, obviously, y'all know me, Deadlands. I've had a couple of paranormal experiences, and I've always been in a paranormal since I was little as hell. So one of my paranormal experiences, I was watching TV in the living room of my old apartment, and it was Ghost Adventures, and I had a lamp right behind me, and there was like a long hallway. So I was laying down, and there's a long hallway that led to my bathroom, and right before you turn, the hallway turned to the bathroom. There was a closet door, and I saw a hand, like a shadow hand, appear and then disappear real quick. I thought that was just me making some movement that caused that reflection, and so I tried to like move my hand on it and everything, and it didn't do anything. Like it didn't do that same thing, and like I sat in the same position, moved my hand. So that was my first experience with a paranormal. The second experience I had was a little creepier. So I was sleeping. Well, I was on the phone trying to fall asleep, and I was talking to a friend of mine on the phone, and she wakes me up saying, she wakes up saying, oh, are you okay? Are you, or no, I wake up to hearing, oh, are you okay? Okay, where's the fire? And then my dad walking into the room to give me a kiss because he was going to work early to work. And I was, and then I had woke, but what happened was, the reason why I was screaming is because before I woke up to my dad and whatever, I had it was almost like sleep paralysis, but it wasn't. So I knew I was asleep. And I had seen like what seemed like a doctor in front of my bed with like you know how when doctors come into the room after you're like waking up from anesthesia or whatever.
Yep.
And you're like croaky,
Yo.
but you just see a silhouette and then the doctor writing down. That's what I saw, and then in the back a fire just started out of nowhere, and apparently, and so that's where I was screaming fire, fire. Hey, look. And then um turns out I did a little bit of searching around and digging around. Turns out that apartment I used to live in was actually an abortion hospital that actually burnt down. Not burnt down, but caught fire. And doctors and patients died in there. And so I was like, holy shit, that was definitely an experience. I've had multiple, but like that one's the most memorable. Is like, holy shit, I didn't know that until I did the research. Can we do? So that's a little bit of what I've got from experience. There's more. I've lived in apparently a lot of haunted apartments. So, and I've always been into the supernatural, like Wiccan and all the other all the stuff. Really interested in all that. So that's just a little bit on me.
All right.
Your turn, Tom Berry.
All right. So yeah, my name's Tomberry, and in terms of the supernatural, I am somewhat 50-50 on it, even though I've had my own experiences on it. I've actually been to a séance. Had a family member, would not disclose any names or
I still
relations.
say that's crazy.
Uh, been has technically been possessed. Uh, I don't know if you guys are religious or not, but the so-called spirit that possessed the family member was Santa Maria, Saint Mary, and she said, quote unquote, that she is very upset with humanity and how we have evolved and or we have become, and pretty much it's just God has left us. That nothing. There's just like he's done. He's done with us. And I don't know if you want to take that at face value or not. Um, but yeah, another like supernatural experience that I've had, I guess maybe communication with an older gentleman that has just pretty much manifested
I
not
remember
only
that.
to me but my sister as well. She apparently saw her well, the old man in the bedroom like in the middle of the day, and I've like just communicate with him in a way. He seems
Hmm.
like a pretty chill individual, like just pretty much asking questions. As far as I gathered, he was from like the 18th century. He was asking about vehicles, like what is that weird metallic box and stuff and everything. It was pretty cool, pretty interesting. Um, and I've also had some weird, like my own investigations in my own apartment where it was like a so long ago, really. That I forget what year was it, but I kind of captured us EVPs on camera that pretty much were saying like a whole bunch of like weird numbers for some reason. They sounded like dates. I have
Hmm.
no idea, but at the same time, I felt like chills in the back of my in the back, on- yeah, my back. I feel like that. It kind of feels like if you open up the fridge, and everything else in my body was like regular temperature, but my back was like freezing. And I mean, also the same thing that you said that you had like kind of like a sleep paralysis. I've had that as well, and I remember vividly I was pretty much sleeping on the floor at that time, like in a mattress, and I just couldn't get up from it at all. I tried to cling to the closet. I was like sleeping next to the closet. I couldn't get up or anything until I shouted like "Get the fuck off me!" And then once I shouted that off, I was able to move.
Hmm.
So did you have like the old hag syndrome where you opened your eyes and there was a wicked looking old lady sitting on your chest?
Oh,
Or
so that's what that's
Mm,
called?
yeah,
It
sleep
wasn't.
paralysis is one form of it, and then the old hag syndrome is when you have sleep paralysis and this wicked looking old lady or demonic looking thing is hanging out on your chest.
Hmm.
Well, it wasn't an old hag, but it did feel like a female
Okay,
was like sitting on top of me, and I did feel pressure on my chest.
okay, but you didn't actually see anything.
No.
Okay,
Oh, interesting. I did not know that's what that was called. I've never had that experience, but I've heard of that experience before, of that feeling of that pressure.
I've had a couple of people that I knew that had the old hag syndrome, and the one guy has sleep paralysis like almost every night.
Oh, wow.
Like, um, he did have a couple of times where he woke up, and the one time he said it was this wicked looking old lady sitting on his chest, holding his shoulders down, and he couldn't move. And the other time he said it looked more like a female demon. So, and it could be
Hmm.
the same thing, but
Well, like I said, I really didn't get like I didn't see it, but I didn't feel like it was like an old like
Like an old
individual. If
presence.
Yeah, I felt younger.
okay.
Hmm.
So now are you guys gonna say that you're brothers?
Well,
Yeah.
not really like biological brothers. We just like we knew each other for like years. That pretty much
Oh,
were like family.
okay. I see.
Right, right. So we met in like elementary or beginning of middle school. I don't remember.
Like we known each other since elementary, like but we became really good friends around middle school.
Yeah. And so he actually knows one of the stories in one of the apartments, cuz it was my last apartment that I lived in Florida before I came up here. So, which I never figured out what that apartment was, cuz it was like a fairly new apartment. There was nothing older about it. However, speaking of that old lady syndrome, I didn't have that per se, but at this old apartment, not the one that used to be an abortion hospital, but the last one I lived in, um, I had this outer body experience. I want to say, so I had a friend over for my birthday, and I've already had these paranormal experience. Like I was alone one day. Wait, there's two instances. One, I was home alone all day and I was playing my video game, and all of a sudden I hear my mom calling me, and I'm like, my mom isn't home. But then I hear her call me again, and I answered. I'm like, what? You know, but she didn't reply. And so I got up and I went from where I heard the voice was from like the kitchen, because that's our entryway we would come in. But again, I was home alone the entire time. Obviously, now that I'm older, I'm like, fuck, why did I do that? Because that is never a good thing to do. If you hear something calling your name and you don't want to do that.
Yep.
Um, and then the other instance was, I was curious. I'm like, okay, I've had these kind of paranormal experiences. Let me test out if there's really something here. And typically, right before like 3 o'clock when I got home from school was where nobody was really home. Like I didn't have anybody upstairs and nobody around, because we were like the very corner, almost the very corner of the apartments. And so I was like, "Is anybody here?" Knock twice, and then quiet. But then all of a sudden you hear two knocks, and I was like, "Oh, you know." And so I started investigating. Apparently there was more than one ghost in that house, so it was really cool. And then the outer body experience I had, it was my birthday. I had this friend come over, and we were investigating in my bedroom, and we went under the covers. It was a girl that I had a huge crush on, whatever. But we went under the covers, and we were put my phone to record. We had asked questions. We put the phone to record, and then we went quiet. like we hid and we went quiet. All of a sudden, I feel myself because I have a tendency, and Tom Berry knows I can fall asleep anywhere. I'm so good I can fall asleep anywhere.
Yep.
And I feel like I fell asleep, but I didn't because all of a sudden I see myself floating up, and I don't see the sheets anymore, but I still see myself, and I see the my friend there. But then all of a sudden my room changes to like these old school brick walls and stuff like that. And now there's a woman laying down where I was laying down. But then there's two little kids, one holding her like how the my friend was holding me like a regular hug, but like a child hugging, and then the other one was hugging her by her legs and they were crying. But all of a sudden she looks up at me. Oops, I hit my mic. All of a sudden she like looks, snaps her head and looks up at me, and I'm back down in my body, and like I'm tears, like I have tears. And my friend's like, "Are you okay?" I'm like, "Yeah." And I tell her the whole experience, and we're like, "Holy shit!" And then when we stopped the recording and we looked in, and you can hear almost like a faint voice, but we couldn't tell what it was saying. So
Yep.
that was crazy experience.
Well, I suppose I'll introduce myself. I am Beltane Fox. I am by far the oldest member of this group. I'm in my mid 50s. Everybody else is like in their 20s. So I have had paranormal experiences since I was a little kid. The first experience I apparently had, I was so young, I don't remember it, but my mom remembers it.
Mm.
And we were living in one of three farmhouses that my parents had rented. And my dad worked nights at the time. He works at a local factory and worked. He retired quite a while ago. But, anyways, he's hearing these stories from my mom and he's not believing them. And what she's telling him is that every night around midnight, she would hear shuffling up the steps like an old man trying to walk up the steps. And then they would get just outside of the door to her bedroom and it'd be like labored heavy breathing. And this went on almost every night. The first time it happened, me and my younger brother, who I was I was about 3 or 4 at the time. He was like one, and we were in the room across the hall from her, and she freaked out. She wouldn't leave the room to go check on us because she was afraid she'd run into this old man.
Oh wow.
So after that, she brought us into her room, and every single night she would hear this. My dad not believing any of it. And then he had switched shifts with another guy one night and decided,
Oh,
you know,
fun.
I'll do a day shift for Friday, then my weekend will be days. So Thursday night, he sat home and middle of the night, all of a sudden he heard the shuffling up the stairs and the heavy breathing outside of the stairs. And apparently he sat up and said, "Who's out there?" And then shot for the door, opened it up, and of course there was nobody there. Um, this was happening to us the whole time we lived there. When my parents moved out of this place, the owner, his son got married, and they wanted that place for their new home. So they spent one night in that house, and then the house was pulled off its foundation and moved out into the back 40 where it was hit by lightning and burnt to the ground. And they built a new house, but they built it not on the foundation of where the other one was. They just had that buried up, and their new house was built, like 500-600 yards back from it.
Oh wow.
So, um, I years ago, it's probably like 20 years ago, I was living in another area of Minnesota, and I had heard about a local ghost hunting group. And I, since I was interested in that kind of stuff, I joined the group and we went on a few investigations. But ended up leaving that group simply because the lady who was running the group wanted to start a TV show. So she was always trying to get, you know, the press to come and interview them and all of this kind of stuff. And I just didn't care for that whole thing. And then my first wife passed away, and I walked away from the paranormal completely for about a year. And then it managed to manifest back into my life. About probably be about 9 years ago, my current wife and I, um, we had gone on the Ghosts and Graves tour up in Minneapolis and St. Paul. They do it every year in October, and they take you around and on a bus. And there's a few places you get to stop and get out and check out the place. And then there's a few places they just drive by. Anyways, they had a, what do you want to call it? Like a paranormal protection person on the bus, and that was Suzanne Worthley. And eventually, she's going to be a guest on this show. Um, I got interested in everything that Suzanne did, and at the time, she was actually coming down to the town I live in and doing classes. So I had taken several of her classes, and then she does what she calls a spirit search because she's not a ghost hunter. She doesn't like the term ghost hunter, which I
It
completely
makes
agree
sense.
with. Yeah. Um, but we went up to it's a place in Sauk Center, Minnesota.
Oh,
And yeah,
I,
I can't recall the name of the place right now, but I went several times. And it's a really interesting place because it's like a super highway for spirits.
it's not like that hotel.
Yes, it is.
Is it the one that was in like shoot, I want to say Ghost Adventures?
Yeah, it was. It was in Ghost Adventures. It was
I know
also
which
in,
one you're talking about. No
yeah,
way.
it was also on that Amy Allen show where she goes and
Yup.
does the psychic stuff.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
crazy. Yeah, I know which hotel you're talking about.
And
I want to
in
get
the
though. I want
Ghost
to go.
Adventures one, they actually talked with Suzanne, and her kids were up there.
Oh
So
wow.
um, she is still doing the spirit searches. In fact, there's one that's coming up. I'll send you guys the link for
Oh
it.
yeah, for sure.
Um,
Yeah, for sure.
I currently can't afford it because it's like 250 bucks for the
Oh jeez,
weekend,
that's crazy.
Oof.
and you have to pay for your hotel room. So, and then all your food and stuff. But they've got a great cafe at this place.
Oh man, that sounds actually very interesting as hell.
Yep. And then there's that other hotel that I sent you the link about that they're going to be doing an event at. That one is in Winona,
Yep,
which
I saw
is,
that one.
you know, they're famous for the Grumpy Old Men movies because part of it was filmed there.
Oh,
Um, but it's a very old hotel. They did a paranormal convention there where they had a bunch of ghost hunting teams and they
mm-hmm.
did lectures. And I did go to that. That was like $10 to get into. It was pretty cool, and it sounds like they're going to do it every year. So, and it's like a 2 hour drive from here, so it's not too bad. Um,
That's not. Yeah,
uh,
that's not bad.
so it's interesting. So through Suzanne, I got to meet several other people when we were on the spirit searches. Greg Beckhoon, who is um, he does Ghost Box Minnesota. He's on 9:50 a.m. I don't remember which days or times that he does that. And then he does Facebook Lives where he does the Ghost Box. Are you too familiar with what a Ghost Box is?
I am.
A little bit. I've got to like, if you could like remind me what it is.
Elaborate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Basically, what a Ghost Box is, and it was created. I don't remember the name of the guy, but I believe he lives here in Minnesota. It is an AM/FM radio, but they have taken all the normal functionality out of it and they set sweep rates, which is the amount of time that it switches from channel to channel. It basically does the scan feature, but it does it really, really quick. And you can run it in forward or reverse. When Greg runs his, he runs it at, I think it's 200 microseconds, and he runs it in reverse. And that way, if it falls, as this thing is switching from channel to channel, if it's running forward, it could pick up a word or part of a word that's from a broadcast. But if you run it in reverse, that's going to be
It's a
flipped.
lot harder.
Yeah. And the whole theory behind it is it's kind of like white noise. White noise is supposed to allow spirits to be able to contact you. When I first started in this, they didn't have any of these things, but there were people that would be using a audio recorder, like a digital one. Some people would only do tapes, because I'll get into that later. It's kind of weird. But, it's just a really dumb argument. But and they would use white noise machines in the background because supposedly spirits can use that white noise to be able to speak with the living. And that's part of when they discovered EVPs, and you guys know what EVPs are.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
That was originally discovered. I believe the story was that there was a guy that was recording himself on a tape recorder. And so as he was going through doing investigations, he was like just investigating the house, trying to figure out, how he would be able to like speak with spirits and stuff. And at that time, like Ouija boards were real popular for that kind of stuff. Well, apparently, when he was playing back his message, he got a Class A EVP, and Class
wow.
A is very clear EVP.
Yeah.
There's a set of classifications for that. I could find that information if you guys want it.
Isn't Class A like intelligent?
Yeah, Class A would be an intelligent conversation. Usually, a Class A, it's very clear, and they could say sentences. So it's usually not just a word; it's usually a group of words. But Greg doing this Ghost Box, I have heard this thing say sentences
and sweeping backwards.
Yeah, and sweep during the sweep. So it's it'll come across as a male or a female voice depending on what the spirit is supposedly, and you might get a word here and a word there, but sometimes you'll get a full sentence, and it's always just crazy when you hear a full sentence. So
to me, it's just crazy to hear a voice.
Yep. So I met Greg at the Palmer House. That's the name of the hotel.
That one, yeah.
So
dude, I'm excited. I want to go there.
Yep. And after she had been doing those events for a while, she started partnering with a Minnesota-based ghost hunting group, if you want to call them that, paranormal investigation group, I prefer, called Bump in the Night. And I got to know the founder and co-founder of that and some of the other people that are there. when I first started going up there, um, there was a lady named Shar that was working at the Palmer part time, and she would always be there for the events. Shar now runs her own um, company, if you will. It's called Sharvinity, and she like reads cards for people. She does Reiki and all of that kind of stuff. Um, I myself am a Reiki master. That was one of the things that I did as I was going through all of this.
So what's a
Um,
Reiki master?
Yeah.
Reiki is a how do we explain Reiki? It's a Japanese technique where you take Reiki energy into your body and you transfer it to another person. And a Reiki master is basically just a vessel that allows Reiki to move through you and out your hands. It's a
Mm,
soft touch or no touch modality. Being a male, soft touch doesn't work too well for me. So I always hover my hands over the patient.
mm.
Um, there is a specific set of hand spacing, like there's behind the neck and over the eyes. And so you go through this specific set of hand movements throughout a person's body. Um, and it transfers Reiki energy into them. Now, as a practitioner, I don't control the Reiki energy. It just knows instinctively where to go to let the healing begin. Um,
Hmm.
so it's a healing technique, um, and like I said, it's originally from Japan. I can send you guys some more information on that as well.
Yeah, that's
So,
actually
oh
interesting. That's probably the first time I've heard of that.
Yeah, same.
Obviously, we know of mediums and stuff like that that spirits do, get use their energy to like kind of go through them or to feel it.
yeah,
But I've never heard
yeah.
of that.
I am also a pagan. Um, I use the term Wiccan because that is the closest that to my actual beliefs.
Okay.
And one of the things that I learned early on was how to draw in earth energy. And when I go into a place that is haunted, I will continue to draw earth energy into me. So if the spirits need energy to use, they're using the energy of the earth, not my own personal energy. Because you really don't want to give your personal energy away, because after a while, it can cause some
Damage.
very bad effects to you. Um, so that was, every one of the things that I went to with Suzanne. The first thing that we did was ground and bubble. And the grounding technique is
Excuse me.
you basically um, make contact with the earth. Usually, the way a grounding is done is that you would imagine you have uh, roots growing out of your feet down into the earth, and then you would pull all the bad energy out of you into the earth, and you would pull good earth energy up into yourself. And while you're doing that, you concentrate energy in your heart chakra, and then eventually it starts to build out until it bubbles around you, and that is a protection. um, and that's one of the things that I wanted to teach you guys as we go on with this. So
I've heard
that's
of
a
all.
little bit about me.
Well, I've heard of that. There's other way. Like one other way for that protection is a lot of mediums are like, oh, close your eyes and like imagine a light on the inside casting outwards,
Yep,
protecting yourself, and casting this bright light, warm light, that positive energy around yourself as
yep,
another way to protect yourself from all this stuff.
exactly. And there's a lot of different stones that you can use.
Mm-hmm.
Like any of the black stones create
The
grounding
obsidian.
energy. So obsidian, Apache tier. Um,
Obsidian is my favorite.
yeah, I'm trying to.
Hey,
there's
simple. Eh,
there's others as well. I haven't been working with that stuff in quite some time.
I
So
have a friend of mine that's a fan about stones, and she kind of knows about that. But
yep.
she's just so she kind of when I met her. Excuse me, I had pop. When I met her, she kind of talked to me about some of that stuff, and God, I got hiccups now. And some of the stones and the energies that they can hold and stuff like that, which is really cool and very interesting. Again, I'm fascinated about all this stuff. And you said your beliefs is paganism or
Yes.
pagan, and
Yes.
and Wiccan is or Wiccan, Wicca,
Wicca.
Wicca is the
Wiccan
closest
is
thing.
the people. Wicca
Pi-
is the
okay,
actual.
okay, yeah, yeah. I was curious about that because I know I've met one person way back when, and she talked about Wicca as something, nature wise, on
Yeah, it's
nature.
it's a nature based religion.
Okay.
Um, Wicca is translated to witch.
Yep.
And the saying used to be that all Wiccans are witches, but not all witches are Wiccan.
Yep.
Um,
I've heard that before.
yeah, not all Wiccans practice magic, which there are people that will argue with me about that, but I know several Wiccans that believe in multiple gods and they don't practice
Right.
any candle magic or any of the other kinds of magic.
Well,
So,
I believe so. The difference, I believe there's a big difference. Like, as we know, witches, not all of them, like to practice more of like the dark arts of magic and stuff like that.
that's actually not true.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah. Um, the dark arts are that can be debated quite a bit because
A lot of things can be debated,
yeah,
especially comes the pentagram.
yep, magic is neutral in energy and it is flavored by the practitioner. So a a practitioner that has decided to do something that's darker or black um, would flavor the magic towards the negative side. But there are a lot of Wiccans out there that are into the whole love and light thing,
Mm-hmm.
and they flavor theirs to the positive side. Now, there are certain types of spells that are, said to be darker in nature. And the funny thing is that love spells are considered to be darker in nature because they take away the person that they're cast on. It actually takes away their free will, and that's part of what makes it dark.
Oh, okay.
So, um, that's my little 2 cents in there. Go ahead.
No, that's very interesting, and kind of why I make this because it's learning stuff that typically isn't believed or is
or has a misinterpreted.
misinterpretation.
Yep. Well,
Obviously,
and a lot of that misinterpretation is originally created by the Christian faith. And
yup.
I'm not knocking the Christian faith. I was raised in the Catholic Church,
I'm a
which
not
is part of
Catholic. Sorry.
yeah,
Nah.
it's part of the reason I'm not Christian anymore. So, um,
So I'm fully Christian, but I'm gonna knock on Catholics a little bit too hard. Nothing against them, but I knock against them a little bit hard, cause
yeah,
cause they just, let's just say they spit things that aren't supposed to be spit. So it's
I mean, that's pretty much
that,
a lot in general.
that
so
happens a lot. So,
that's what I'm saying.
um,
I'm Christian. I believe in God, like full faith and belief. But yeah, I'm gonna knock on Christians so hard.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting. Like pretty much we have a Christian, we have a Fox is the
Pagan.
pagan, and pretty much I'm just atheist in general.
Yep.
I really like don't believe in much of anything.
We have the big
But
trio here. So that's interesting.
So
And that
Neil posted that he'll be in Discord if you're roping me in.
and I'm gonna try to, but I don't think it'll really work because we can't hear you can't hear him, but I will.
Yeah.
And I don't want to cause a double audio if we all just join the Discord. Apparently he can't join because this thing that we're using uses Chrome and he can't use Chrome.
Oh,
Or
that's
he
it.
Really?
doesn't sign into Chrome or something, yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't know about the Chrome thing, or else I would have just said let's go. But
Discord.
Well,
yeah,
we can always try this in Discord next time too.
yeah.
So yeah.
So this is interesting. It's the first time I'm doing this, and for all of us on this. But Discord, yeah. I mean, I can put them on, um, and just have him put like the 2 cents in, and kind of tell you guys, or he can read it. I can't log into Twitch on Chrome because it requires my phone number linked to my Twitch account, and I don't have one. Oh, okay, that's what he says. So I can read
Oh,
what he
that-
says.
yeah. See, that's the same thing I was running into.
Oh, okay.
And all he has to do is put in a phone number, and it will send a
You
text to the phone number he put in
Yeah, simple. You have
for a
two
code.
phones. Just use the random phone number you'll never use.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It doesn't. All it is that it will use it in case they need to send you a notification, like if you're changing your password or something like that.
Yeah, and they never do because I have mine
Yeah.
tied and I never get notified. I always go for my email for me, but two-step verification. But this way, I tried using my original, but it's already with my personal Twitch.
Yep.
Didn't you make this one? Simple causality. Didn't you make a new separated from your original Twitch? And use the new number? Not with a phone number link. Just put your brand new number that you don't use. Only had one number at a time. Oh, well, put link this. I can try. Yeah, just link your simple causality with your brand new number. Um, so the beauty about what we're doing here with this one is that it allows my viewers to request to come join us too. So if you guys have Jesus, a story to tell or you want to tell us, um, I have request open as well. And it can be audio only, no camera needed. So I have my request open here. And I can accept whoever wants to be requested in and just wants to tell stories of what they believe and stuff. And
Yep.
Toneberry, you said you were half and half. I was curious about that. I don't think I ever talked to you about that. Because we did send my a podcast that wasn't really a podcast. I just uploaded it as
Yeah.
one, and we
Yeah.
never
So pretty much.
elaborated on that.
So pretty much what I mean half and half is that I for me, I am like I said, I'm an atheist. I don't believe in pretty much any religion. I feel like all of that's just pretty much hocus pocus bullshit. No offense to anybody, but
Well,
just
totally
how
understand.
I view it. Um,
That's why
and but
we're
at the same
here.
time, I do believe in the paranormal. I do believe there's things out there that cannot be explained by natural means or by scientific means. I fully understand that as well, and
And
that's
that
why I be my
actually
half and half.
does not go against atheism. Just because you don't believe in a God doesn't mean you can't believe in spirits.
Yep.
Yeah, but a lot of atheists were like hardly typically hard atheists. They literally everything is bullshit.
Yeah,
Yeah,
They
totally
pretty
that's
much argue
true.
with
understand.
me all the time about that.
Well, okay. The Christians would also knock that you're
Yeah,
atheist
no,
and yeah.
pretty much almost anybody.
Yeah.
Just saying you.
It's like pick a
Most
camp already. God damn it.
yeah, most of the Christians that I know believe that people that are atheists that is their religion is atheism,
Yup.
and it's
Yeah,
it's actually a lack of religion.
Right.
Simple
exactly.
Causality said he is. agnostic.
Yeah, I
So
was
Yeah, I
gonna
have
you
no
bring
idea what
that
that
up.
means though.
Christian, a
I've never heard of it.
pagan, an atheist, and an
An
agnostic. So
agnostic. What? Okay. If he
What is
gets
that
this figured
exactly?
out, I want to know what that is.
the description that I have read about an agnostic person is that they just really don't care.
Oh,
You know,
well, yeah. It's
Oh, like
almost like,
indifferent, pretty much.
yeah.
hmm.
So
Okay.
it's different from atheism because it's not saying that they don't believe, they just don't care about the whole thing. So
Oh, okay. I was gonna say that. I was gonna be like, isn't that the same thing as atheism? They don't care. But no, I guess you
it's a
explained
little
that.
different. So, and if simple causality ever gets in
Joins, you
here
can elaborate a little more on that
or posts on the
on
side
chat.
here, he can describe it as well. So, yeah. And the
Um,
biggest difference between a pagan and a Christian, Christians are a book religion. They are a
yup.
Abrahamic religion. Christian, pagan, or Christian, Jewish, and Muslim are all um, under the same umbrella. They
Yup.
believe in the same God, but like the
In
Jews
different ways.
and the Muslims do not believe that Jesus was the Son of God. They believe that he was a
Profit.
prophet or a messenger.
Yup.
So,
Which is
and
very interesting.
anything that's outside of those three religions are considered paganism. And the actual term pagan is translated as country dweller. You know, it was
Really?
it was supposed to be an insult that the Christians were throwing at the pagans. They were
Oh,
calling them,
that's
like rednecks, if you will.
that's funny. I did
And
not
at the
know that
time,
part.
yeah, and at the time, Christians were not called Christians. But from what I understand, the pagans would call the Christians Christians. So
Oh,
Christian,
yeah.
so
It's like,
it's like,
So they both adopted each other's names in a way. Like,
yeah. They
yep,
were trying to talk shit to each other, and what they did was adopt names to one another, basically.
exactly. So,
that's very
and
interesting.
That's
and the
funny.
biggest difference between a Christian and a pagan is the Christians are monotheistic, meaning they believe in one God,
Yep.
where pagans, most of them are polytheistic, meaning we believe in more than one God. Um, and I've had bad Christians that have been like, you don't believe in God. And it's like, no, I actually believe in more gods than you do.
Right.
So
Well,
it's simple.
the
Hey, there you go, Simba. What's up?
now let's see if he can get his working on the first try. He's
Yeah,
like,
the
I'm waiting
mic thing's kind of
backstage. I
annoying.
think yes. Okay, here we go. Let me show him on the screen. There we go. Oh,
It won't take my camera and audio only.
you got to change that in the settings.
The host or mod disabled your camera.
Oh,
So
nope. Video. Oh, hold on. Yeah. Sorry, I was on the request side. Okay, try doing it now. Hold on. Let me send you back. Let me send you
does
backstage.
my audio sound good for you guys right
Yep.
now? Or
Yep.
be a little louder.
All right, I'm gonna move you back to queue. Hold on.
Okay.
Now he should be able to connect everything. Sorry about all this, we're just I'm learning this as we go. And this is really interesting. I like this layout because I can just arrange it. I can have up to 5 people join us, and then I can have like join requests, and stuff like that. So that's so. Like I mentioned, all right, he should try it again. I'm just seeing Pokemon pop up on chat as we're talking about the paranormal, and one of the funny Pokemons that popped up is Malamar. It's supposed to be a psychic dark or psychic water type, and in one of the Pokemon episodes, he mind controls like the bad guys. Just a little funny part, like we're talking
We
about.
just think Ghastly or something, huh?
Yeah, we're just talking about the
Hunter.
paranormal. We get Malamar who possesses people's mind with a psychic ability. So All right. This,
Okay.
let's see.
So now his sound is turned off, and I think his camera's probably turned off too.
No, I gotta show him on stream. There we
There you
go.
go.
Hey, there he is.
There you go.
Nope, nope.
Hello.
Going on, man?
He's muted himself, I think. Yeah, we can't hear you. We can
I
see
can
your
hear him.
lips.
I can hear him.
Oh, I can't hear
I can
him.
hear and see him. Yep. Always him.
It might be the
Jesus.
same thing that
Oh.
happened when my audio went away.
What happened when your audio? Let me just refresh the page. I think that's all it is. Okay, talk simple. I heard.
Let me know if you need any testing.
Hey, all right, we got him.
There you go.
And
Well, you got him.
Tasha, we are here listening, just working on some trip planning. All right, Tasha. Welcome. Yeah, we're just talking, so enjoy the rowdy noise in the background. All right, so simple. We've all introduced ourselves. I guess you gotta your turn to introduce
My
yourself.
turn. Hello. I'm Simple Causality on Twitch, and that's about it.
Have
Well,
you
I
had
know. Look,
any?
I know my Twitch says I have a YouTube channel. I don't. I promise I will get to it one day, but
One day, yeah.
one.
So
Oh.
have you had any paranormal experiences?
Not so much paranormal experiences. When I was younger, not so much anymore, but when I was younger, I definitely had a lot of like deja vu moments where
Okay.
I knew what was going to happen before it happened. A lot of the times nowadays, it's more um, like it's still like a deja vu moment where things happen in the way that I think they're going to happen, but sometimes it's not correct. Like sometimes it could be, oh, somebody is going past in a big truck, and like I already know this is gonna happen, so I'm already looking out the window, but it's just like somebody's regular truck instead of a big jacked up one or whatever. Same
That
thing.
So,
could be their cognizance,
yep.
which is clear knowing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now,
I would almost say it's can be maybe not clairvoyance if you guys haven't talked about that yet. But,
no, we're just getting started because
getting
yo,
started. Your stream time says 59 minutes.
yeah, it says I've been live for 59 and recording for 52. I took a little longer to hit record,
I can't lie.
but okay. So you said you were agnostic.
Agnostic.
Agnostic. I can't believe you guys haven't heard of agnostic.
We haven't,
I
and Beltane gave us a little bit into it. Do you want to elaborate a little more, or and tell us any if you
I only
believe
caught
in
about
shit?
half of what he was saying, because obviously I was trying to get this thing to work on Chrome, but what I heard from him was it's you don't care about religion. It's not like it doesn't affect you or anything. I like to think of it as agnostic being. It can be just like I don't care, but that's more towards atheism. I would think it's like everybody. Well, I
Yeah.
mean, 'cause you got to think about it. Like atheism is the absence of religion.
Yep.
Agnostic is more like maybe there is something out there, but it's not like the Almighty God or whatever. You know,
So it's
it
not set
could
in stone.
be, yeah. It could be like you have a faith in the human population, like the goodness of people, or
Does that still
there is like
exist?
there's well, I not that's not what I follow, but it's possible, man. It could be me personally. It's like there is a higher power. I know there's a higher power because there's a lot of things that happen in my life that are both like I can basically go, okay, you know those really tough days we had work the last week there. It was just absolutely terrible, horrendous days. It
Dude,
was
that
like
was stupid. Don't stop reminding me of those weeks, man.
yeah,
Jesus.
it's like working a 12-hour day when you're only working an 8-hour shift. It's like that. They were really, really bad. It was so busy, and um, usually, almost always, in fact, for me, whenever I have bad things happen, good things immediately cancel it out. Whenever I'm having good things happen, usually bad things come along and cancel it out. So it's not so much I don't believe that there's a higher power. It's more like maybe there's a guiding force or something.
Fair
Um,
enough.
I
Yeah.
don't know if you guys have talked about the tarot cards or anything yet.
Not yet.
No,
We
not yet.
touched slightly on it, which is something I've been curious about, and that's something that been wanting to touch on too, and we'll go more in depth on that, and like if people are interested to like get something done or whatever, and you guys,
yeah.
I think Beltane said that you said something about doing it was okay. I
Yeah,
know.
I figured if we did it, we'd do like one card draws or maybe a 3 card, yep, past, present, future, something like that.
Yep,
So
because I know Neil says it's harder for him to do it over something like this. More physical is easier.
Well, it's not an issue over technology by any means. It's not like I can't do it over Twitch. Like if somebody came into the chat and answered all the
Asked.
questions,
Yep.
I could do it just fine. The problem is that the way that I read cards is very much it's not me. It's just the cards and the
Right.
other person. So every aspect of reading the cards, I'm literally just the reader. The cards, the other person that I'm doing it for has to lay the cards out themselves in whatever order is that they lay them out in whatever alignment they lay them out in the, take the past, present, future thing. If they put one in the present and one in the future and then decide to switch them around, that's their own prerogative. Every little thing is done by them, and I just pick the cards up and read them. That's all I do. And as far as I know, I've never had an inaccurate reading, um, past, present, or future. So, but I know we've discussed it outside of this previously, but
Slightly,
the
yeah.
future is, yeah, the future is not set in stone. So
yep.
if you get a card reading done and it says you're gonna have a great day tomorrow, and you're like, okay, cool, I'm gonna go have a great day tomorrow, and then you get to work and your boss yells at you, and you're like, well, this isn't what I signed up for. It's like, did you come in late? Because you're gonna get yelled at. You know,
Right.
like it's not like this is what's going to happen. It's this is what should happen if you do your normal routine, if the same things happen that always happen, if you stay on the same course, kind of thing.
I see
And
it
that,
as a path. Um,
yeah,
you could change your path by turning left where you were going to turn right. And it can be something as simple as that that will change the outcome of your readings. So,
Right.
exactly. So it's very much just like, and this is all leading back to the agnostic thing. Is I do believe in a higher power. I don't believe that there is one some greater ultimate thing that made the universe. I don't believe that there's hundreds and hundreds of thousands of whatever like mini gods that rule over every little thing. It's just not. It's gonna really sound funny when you say this, but it's not realistic. I mean, it's just not. Things come about because people create them. It like
It's got to start somewhere.
it, it's got to start somewhere, but it doesn't start with not us. Like, yeah, aliens could have come and made the pyramids of Giza. That's I would believe that over that there's a god because we don't know what's out in the universe. You know, I mean, we know like this much, and the whole planet is the universe.
It's
If
vast.
like it's enormous. So I would far believe that aliens have like terraformed the planet and then put us here as a little experiment over, you know,
Like
Buddhas
Chicken Little
bringing
said,
people to
the
the
sky is
afterlife.
falling. The sky is falling.
Yeah, exactly. So, and like I said, this all leads back to the agnostic thing of I believe that there is a higher power because there is a thing that happens and then there's a reaction to this, which is where my name comes from. Simple causality. Causality means the cause and effect of things happening in your life. So simply, it happens is kind of how I came up with the name. And that's just how I live my life. It's like, oh no, I've been having a bad day. Well, maybe somebody invites me out to eat that I wasn't expecting. I'm like, oh, okay, cool. You know, it starts
Yeah.
raining on my way into work and
Yeah.
I didn't bring an umbrella. And I'm like, oh man, this sucks. And then, my chain falls off when I get to work. And you're like, oh God, this is horrible. And then there's nobody there. Everybody's really nice when they come in. You go home, you're my roommate made me eat dinner, is,
Mhm.
whatever. And then it's just like for me, it all balances out eventually. Like it could be like bad, 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 bad. And then it's like, oh, but you won the lottery, you know?
That makes
like
everything 10 times better,
like
dude.
well, if you have 10 bad days in a row and you're like, man, this sucks, and you buy a $1 lottery ticket every day,
And
and
that
it's
is your
like all
bingo
of that
shot.
builds up, and then it's like, oh sweet, I got a $200 scratch ticket, now I can go treat myself to something nice. I can like go stay, go do something that would be interesting and fun to
Strip
me,
club. No, I'm
and
just kidding.
like go out to the bar, have a drink, play some pool. Like I don't have to worry about it.
Right.
So it for me it all just balances out eventually, and I've kind of learned to live with just move on. Like
Yep.
it all works itself out, and I really don't need to worry about it. If something's going wrong, it'll go right eventually. If it's going right, I'm expecting disaster, but it's fine. It's fine.
So,
My luck runs a lot the same as yours does, and I've always called it strange luck.
Yeah.
I had friends that were like, if I didn't have bad luck, I wouldn't have any luck at all. And I'm like, I just have strange luck. My luck isn't all good and it isn't all bad, but it kind of balances out. So,
yep.
hmm Yeah, for me, it's always been excuse me. It's I've never had good or bad luck. I've just had good and bad times. And then should I have what somebody would consider bad luck, um, there's this thing that always happens with me is anytime somebody else is having good luck or bad luck, I kind of siphon it off and turn it into good luck. It's like uh, my immediate family, um, we all buy scratch tickets. Like we all play the lottery every very vaguely once in a while because it's like, well, what if I win this time, kind of thing. And so anytime they're on a bad streak, like nothing, 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 I'm like, I'm gonna go buy a $5 ticket, and then I, $50, and I'm like, all right, cool.
I'm good with that.
It's just like I end up siphoning off like good and bad luck from people and turning it into good and bad luck for myself. So, which is, I guess you could call it strange luck, but not so strange, more just like hee hee ha ha. It sucks for you. It's good for me. Like sorry.
Well, if you take my stuff, man, you probably win the lottery.
Shit, dude. Uh, I just laughed. The freaking thing keeps going on. I should take that off when we do this.
Geodude.
All right. So yeah, I was gonna
I
say
sure wish
Geodude
I
just
could get
appeared.
to the chat portion of your chat so I can try and catch it. But
Mm.
my page doesn't go down that far on Chrome because Chrome is dumb.
So
yeah.
I want you to know I didn't have Chrome installed before you started this.
well, thank you because this is only every So schedule is gonna be every. What is that? Oh, sus. So scheduling for this is gonna be every other Monday, basically. Yeah, squirrel. So I have really bad ADHD. So just imagine me ghost hunting. I'd be like, "Oh, look at this," and then a noise goes, and then I just like get distracted by something in the corner of my eye. So like I'll miss like
Speak
every spooky thing, or I'll scream like a little girl. One of the two will happen. So I've actually gone ghost hunting before, and it's the place used to be they called it the Walcox Mill. I don't know if you guys heard of it or not.
No.
Really, I've talked to you about this, or
One.
maybe I haven't. So
Not that I know.
so
I mean, not that I remember.
So in the town, in the town in Minnesota, there used to be a hospital. It's called the Old Faribault Hospital, and it's destroyed now. There's only a cross standing there, and they used to say that the old Walcox Mill used to be by there. So you'll see, the cross, and as you're passing the cross, you're going to what they call the Walcox Mill, because it used to be a mill there. And I went there with a paranormal group, Southern Minnesota Paranormal Group, and what was really cool is that I didn't know the story, but they got a hold of an old janitor that used to work there. Don't know names, don't know anything, but story goes that the dude saw a lot of messed up thing, like a lot of messed up things, especially with like the doctors and the patients and stuff. Supposedly the healthy boys would be put aside, taken care of nice, and when they were older they would work on the mill, while all the other ones weren't so as lucky. Some were born still, some didn't even make it past the infant stage, and they were buried behind that cross that sits there right now. And we went and investigated both areas, and at the mill, there's a little girl. I don't remember the name. I really wish I could find all this again. Like, I've been looking, but I can't find it. But there was this little girl, and apparently the little girl, there is something evil there that's holding her back. So we went and they tried to communicate with the little girl. She was able to respond, and one of the question was, I think it was like is the evil thing there holding you back? And like she replied yes, and they were kind of trying to get her to talk. We would get little. We'd had not and is it an EMF detector? The one with the lights.
It could be a K2.
K2 meter.
Okay.
It was a K2 meter. And we would ask her, be like, oh, if it's yes, light it up all the way. Or if it's a no, just halfway. And obviously we moved it around the equipment just to make sure that it wasn't any of our equipment doing damage or anything, and it wasn't. And we had a couple responds. The two creepiest the creepiest part wasn't the night's investigation. The creepy part was going during the day. Yeah, the investigation went flawless, perfect. Like, we went to the cross. Behind the cross, or basically the whole field behind the cross is like unmarked graves of those children, of a lot of children that were just abandoned. And one of the I had the K2 meter and the camera pointing at it, and we asked, oh, is there any little kids that want to come say hi? Come up to this little green light, and if you high five it, it goes all the way red. Well, nothing had happened for a few minutes, and then we're like, well, if there's any, and then we repeated, if there are any little kids here, come and high five. We just want to talk, just play. And all of a sudden, just real briefly, like if somebody literally high fived the K2 meter, it lit up all the way red, and then green. And then it didn't do that ever again. And I was holding when that happened. I was like, oh, it happened. And I really wish I would have asked them for the recording, because I was so excited. That was like my first true So like my other experience where like, did it happen? Did it not happen? Was I just dreaming? But that was like the first realistic investigation proof that happened to me. But that wasn't the creepy part. The creepy part was actually I went and I took somebody there, and at the time my radio that I had wasn't working as well, and so I had it turned off because it was all staticky by that area. But as soon as we drove past the cross, my radio, I almost feel like my radio turned on, and you can hear a little girl's voice giggling through the radio. Mind you, this was daylight, and I was like, huh? And I just played it off as in like it's on gravel road. I must have hit a ditch, loose cable. I was trying to like just play it off as cool. We went to the Walcox Mill place, and then did what we were gonna do, and on the way back, passing the cross again, the person I was with looked over and all of a sudden screamed. And so I braked really hard because I was like, what happened? Why did you just randomly scream? And the person goes, that cross over there just warped itself. I was like, what do you mean? And the person was like, yeah, that cross, as we were passing by it, just spiraled out of like shape. It almost looked like a portal opening, they told me. I was like, okay, I'm out of here. I put that car in gear and I never went back. Like, I've only passed by there twice, and I've not had anything weird happen except like that radio thing again. Almost wondering if there's like some form of radio interference there, but at the same time, my radio's been turned off every time I go through there, just to see if it happens. So, and I've had it happen twice, and I really want to go there back again to do like a full-on investigation. It was scary, creepy, awesome, scary. I didn't scream like a little girl, no.
This is the old psych ward, right? Not the state hospital.
No, the old psych ward,
Okay.
yep. Didn't they move that though? The hospital, they moved it before it became the full psych ward.
I have no idea.
Ugh, snot. Oh. Oh, you snot. Oh, the snot. My kid's sick, so. Oh, the snot. Oh, the snot. Just a little floating kid ghost head.
With snot coming
Yeah,
out of
with
his
snot. But he's
That's
just
not
laughing.
ectoplasm, it's snot.
It's not. I have to watch the new Ghostbuster movie, the one with the grandkids. I haven't seen that one.
Yeah, I haven't seen that one yet either, so.
I have it, so that'd be fun. I own it. We can watch it on here because I own it. No, I'm just kidding. Just do a marathon of that. But yeah, so that I've had a couple paranormal, a lot of paranormal experiences. So, anything else? I was gonna jot down questions too, cause I'm kind of curious. I'm a curious person. Like my wife usually I usually tell my wife my curiosity is gonna get the better of me. You know what they say, curiosity killed the cat, and she goes, "Do you know the second half of that riddle?" Like if she was British. No, I'm just kidding. I'm like, yes, you repeated it to me so many times that I remembered it. The second half is, but satisfaction brought it back. So probably my curiosity will take me, but my satisfaction to it might not bring me back, because obviously that's just a tale. But oh, I can't hear him. Is he laughing or is he? I can't hear him. I just see the pulsating of him talking.
Oh, Toad Mary?
Yeah.
Yeah, repeat what you were saying.
I can't hear him. I think we lost him again.
We could hear him, so it's probably
It's
that same deal.
Just me. All right, refreshing the page.
I keep
Give
telling him
him
to
a
change it.
second.
Like,
He will.
There you go. Page refreshed.
can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay. So pretty much, I'm saying that the new slogan is, "You fucked out and you're gonna find out."
You
Fuck
fucked
around
up and you're
find
gonna
out.
find out.
Yep. That's pretty much you in
Okay.
a nutshell. If you keep doing that.
Yeah, yeah. It's more fuck around and find out kind of thing. But Ouija boards.
I don't
What?
believe in them.
Huh?
I don't. I think that's bullshit.
Okay, that was a quick response. I knew that's where he was coming from. I firmly believe it's not bullshit. Also, being that again, I grew up Christian, and that is like a no kind of thing. But the fact that there's also things that have happened because of them, it's definitely a big no for me. Either way. But I won't touch that with a 20-foot pole. At least that's how I see, because I've heard of a lot more things. He doesn't believe in it, but I've heard worse things about him, and yeah, I'm good. I don't need to get near one.
I've had a couple of experiences with them.
Okay.
I had a girl that I dated way back just out of school that we had gotten a Ouija board. She went out and bought the Parker Brothers cardboard Ouija
Toys R
board,
Us.
and a bunch of us had sat around playing it. Well, she did not heed the rules and started using it herself. And she ended up speaking with a guy that had committed suicide. I don't remember his name or any of that kind of stuff, but she got to the point where that's all she would talk about. She was like obsessing with that board, and she was playing with it. I took it away from her and threw it in a fire pit and burned it. But she was not able to do the goodbye thing, which is part of the whole thing. When you start a Ouija board, supposedly you're opening a doorway to the spirit world.
Yep.
And if you don't close it out by saying goodbye, you leave that doorway open.
I only caught half of that, by the way. Sorry.
Okay.
Because my wife came and was like, "You mentioned Ouija board? That's in the Bible." I was like, "I know it does. It mentions it in like the Bible and stuff." So
Actually,
she was kind of. So I was like,
yeah.
Okay, so what you were saying? So girlfriend bought one, came, got obsessed with playing with it.
She basically got obsessed with it, and she was talking to one specific spirit. And
Don't tell me
I had
Zelda.
taken it away from her, and I had actually thrown it into a fire pit and burned it.
No fucking way. Don't tell me.
Yeah. But the same girl is now ghost bait, basically. She attracts spirits.
So she technically became the portal.
Basically.
Did she ever say goodbye, or did you not?
No, she was never able to get to the point of saying goodbye.
Because you grabbed it
away from her.
Oh, yep. Damn.
But she didn't know about the saying goodbye, just like she didn't know about not using it by yourself.
Yup. That is like number one thing is it even says it. Do not play it by yourself.
Yep. The origins of the Ouija board, they were originally called talking boards, and they were handcrafted.
Yep.
And apparently Warner Brothers, or the Warner Brother, or whatever it was, had gone out and bought the rights to the talking board from one person.
Wow, it's been that long though? They've had that right for so
yeah.
Oh wow.
It was it's been around since like the 1800s, so
that puts it in perspective how old Warner Brothers is too though.
Yep.
Aren't Warner Brothers typically the ones that come out with the horror movies too?
Well, they're one of the ones.
There's multiple people.
Right, but like the bigger companies, I think like I've seen Warner Bros. For like the darker gothic movies.
Yeah. But and now Hasbro owns the rights to the Ouija board.
Oh,
It
really?
was- yeah.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
that's right. That's how you can find them. You used to be able to find them in Toys R Us and shit like that.
You can buy them at Walmart.
I haven't seen one in our Walmart. I guess I haven't looked.
They are there.
Oh, fuck. Now I gotta go and like I would never touch that 20-foot pole, but now that you tell me when I'm gonna go, my mind is gonna be like, is it there? Is it there? I swear that's what's gonna happen.
So you didn't notice Abby's sweatshirt?
No. I know
Yeah,
he
she
never
was wearing
did.
a Ouija board.
Oh shit, man, I gotta ask her if she believes in it or not.
Simple, you're like really, really quiet.
I can fix that.
There you go.
Okay.
That's a lot better. Yeah.
Well, so the mic picks up the new mic is I don't know if you guys noticed, I have a new headset. Hold on. So that's my old one here. This new one has noise cancellation and it has a boom arm for the mic, as you can see. If I have it all the way down, it's such a good mic that it picks up my breathing.
Yeah.
So that's
I wonder if
it's
it
been
picks up
up
my
out of the
breathing.
way.
Like it might picks up my breathing.
I haven't heard you breathing.
Not
So
so much.
Well, I
No.
do have the Nvidia
When you're-
broadcaster
when you're,
going
like,
through.
leaning
So.
forwards, it starts to but
Sorry.
Oh yeah.
so yeah, so that's why my headset has been up here. It could be all the way down here and give you guys a little bit better sound, but
We definitely
as long
want
as
the
you
better
guys can
sound when
hear
you're
me-
talking.
Well, yeah, but as long as you guys can hear me, like you can hear me just fine right now, right?
yeah.
Yeah, like that. Yeah.
So there should be no issue with it being right here. I just wanted to make sure that you guys can hear me and not just pick up my like.
So
Yeah, I'm
anybody
using
else
my
there?
blue snowball, so
Yeah.
What was that?
I've got that blue snowball like you've got,
Oh yeah.
and that's what I'm
Yeah,
using.
Yeti.
So
Yeah, the Blue Yeti. What about you guys, Tomberry?
I actually have
and...
mine plugged in my computer because my Bluetooth isn't working right now. Hi everybody who's on stream that actually comes to watch me, which is nobody. But so
We
I
do.
don't have Bluetooth on my computer right now, and it
and the
is
computer keeps shutting
overheating.
down on him.
Basically, my roommate and I believe it's the thermal paste needs to be reapplied because my computer sits at 60 degrees Celsius idling. It should be like 27. So it's
Super high.
it's like 80 degrees hotter than it should be, just on. Not even doing anything,
Jesus.
just on. So this is why I haven't been able to stream, because if I basically do anything with OBS, it just immediately overheats my computer and shuts it down. So which I'm sure everybody understands is not good.
No, that
So,
is horrible.
So
Do you
yeah,
have
that's why
any-
I haven't been streaming at all lately.
Do you have any external fans on that?
I have a bunch of internal fans on that, like 5 of them, and
Okay, so you've got something that's pulling
yeah,
air in and circulating
it's
it.
worked just fine until like about a week and a half
Recently,
ago, and then it's just started like shutting my computer off, just because it like hits the cap for safety temperature or whatever,
Yeah.
and it just like powers my computer off instantly.
Okay.
So
I had the issue.
as
My
much
computer
as-
shutting down, but it wasn't that bad.
Yeah, no, mine is literally like I'll just be in the middle of doing something and it's just like my monitor will flash and then it just goes and you can't turn it back on. So I have to just let it sit there and cool off for a little while and then turn it back on. So unfortunately, that's why That's why I can't do anything on stream lately. I was hoping to get it fixed this weekend. My roommate said he would be able to do it when he gets back from work at some point, but um, I don't know. It is what it is. There's not really anything I can do about it. So
So I was asking you guys, have you guys had any experience? I know Beltane just told us his, but you guys with the Ouija?
nope, never used it.
Me, I've never used it either. It's just that the reason why I don't think it's real or believe in it at all is it's literally was just a toy. And then I feel like pretty much things like the media and everything like that have like oversaturated and overhyped it to the point that it's like I feel like it just everybody just believes in it.
Well,
Mhm.
originally it was called a talking board, and like I said, they were handmade. Um, but Hasbro has turned them into a toy. So like you can't drink till you're 21, but you can summon demons when you're 8.
Yeah,
Exactly. So I'm
that
like,
was funny.
Yeah, of course, of course.
but even if they were like considered talking boards, it's like they were still made for fun. I don't think they were made specifically to contact the dead or anything like that, as far as I know.
Yeah, they weren't originally made for fun. They were actually made for um, exactly doing that, speaking with the dead.
I really, I kind of read like the opposite online, but I guess I have to keep looking at it.
Hold on.
That's why I like 10 years to write it off. It's like it's just a toy that people just like overhyped and gone to the point that it's like okay,
All right.
whatever.
I
And mostly
looked
like
up.
stories that like if you like try to communicate and don't say goodbye or try to get rid of it, it comes back. And
Yeah, that'd be
like I've heard
fool.
like some like stories that like oh like this one guy who tried to get rid of it without saying goodbye, and then he started hearing like weird sounds coming out of his closet, and he saw like red eyes from his closet as well, and I'm like, come on, bro.
Yeah, some of those tend to be made up. Um,
Exactly. You
a
know,
friend of mine
I'm sure a lot of
has
those
a
tend to be made up.
yeah, a friend of
Um,
mine had told me a story about something that had happened to his aunt, and they had an original talking board. It wasn't, a Hasbro or Parker Brothers um, toy type one. It was one that was actually handmade, and she was afraid of it, and supposedly it like thrown it in the trash, and then it appeared back in her house, and she had taken it, she had given it to a friend, and it appeared back in her house, and it
oh
somehow
shit.
didn't, you know and apparently they had burned it, and it appeared back in the house, and all of this kind of stuff. I don't know how much of that is true or how much of it is fiction, but there are a lot of stories about that kind of stuff. But of course,
Mm.
this was not the hey, let's contact ghosts for fun when you're 8 years old type board. It was one
yeah,
that was actually handmade and stuff. So
Okay,
yeah. So
so
that's why I think that the Ouija boards now they really don't do anything because it's
oh
just
yeah.
toys. Probably the handcrafted one had like some special sigil or something special with them that maybe allowed you to commune with the with spirits and everything. But I don't the ones you could buy in Walmart. I don't think they don't do anything.
I think
Well,
they're just a tool.
yep, that's what it is. It's become it's not that it's not real or it's something like that before. It's become more of a tool to be used. So I looked up right here some of the things. I guess Time Magazines did a little bit something on it. Saying Ouija origin of evil and truth history of the Ouija board. Where does the Ouija board come from? Merch. Its origins are still shrouded in mystery, but in 1886, a few things happened. There were an Associated Press story about new talking boards taking over northern Ohio. So it looks like it started in Ohio. So we know talking boards existed in Ohio, but a man named Charles Kennard, living in Chestertown, Maryland, claimed to. Okay, so it looks like the guy claimed invented the board would become the Ouija. Sorry, I have hiccups. I cut that whole sentence off. Let me say that again. A man named Charles Kennard, living in Chestertown, Maryland, claimed to invent the board that would become a Ouija. He asked a man who worked right next to him, E.C. Raichi, a cabinet maker of coffin maker, to make a few. So Raichi later claims he came up with the idea too, and that Charles Kennard took it from him and went to make it a business. So we don't really know who did it, but in fact it was two people are claiming that they did it, but let's just say both of them came up with the idea. It's a huge hit in Chestertown from 1886 all the way to 1890. Then Kennard goes to Baltimore and meets Elijah Bond, a lawyer. In April 1890, we think April 25th, 1890, they have a seance with Bond's sister-in-law, Helen Peters, whom Bond calls a strong medium, where they ask the board what it wants to be called. It spelled out Ouija, and when they asked what that means, the board spelled out Goodluck. So basically, it spelled out Ouija and spelled out good luck. The building where the seance happened is still there. It's in 529 North Charles Street. It's now a 7-Eleven. That's funny. It's a haunted 7-Eleven.
I gotta go there now.
Yeah. It's like, hey, now we got an address. We gotta go visit now.
Get a Slurpee and some spirits. Nice.
Yeah, get a Slurpee spirit with that. So Elijah Bond files the patent, and the patent office says, you have to prove it works. A grandson of Helen Peters says his grandmother told his family this story. Bond took Peters to the penance house in Washington, D.C. They showed it to the first clerk, who says, I don't want to be a laughingstock. They get the chief clerk, who says, if that contraption can spell out my name, then you've got your patent. Peter takes out the Ouija board, or the talking board, and it spells out his name. The chief clerk, visibly shaken, says, okay, you've got your patent. But the patent doesn't talk about why it works. So that could easily been like, hey, we're gonna make it spell your name, you're not gonna know how it works, but we kind of, this could be as like, hey, we just conned you into some.
Yeah, calmed you into giving me the damn patent.
Right. But at the same time, we weren't there to really know. Again, I fully believe the Ouija board is something not to fuck with. Again, I will not touch it with a 20-foot pole. My curiosity, my curiosity is there, but it's not as strong as my fear over that. That is I hate spiders, and y'all know how much I hate spiders. Like, I will scream worse than a little girl with a spider, just so y'all know. But when it comes to this shit, not even a 20-foot pole. I'm sorry. My man Beltane over here says that who was his ex freaking threw it away and it appeared again. Like, nah, I'm good. I am. Oh my God, the audio went again. Hold on. Hold on. I'm refreshing. It has to be my internet, I swear to God. All right, try it again. What'd you say?
Better. So speaking of spiders, yesterday I was just hanging out in my room doing whatever it was I was doing, and I looked over at the floor because I thought I saw something move, and I live in an attic space, so spiders are not uncommon here at all. Little bitty black spider, right? I'm like, oh hey, it's that little dude that lives in the wall, because there's like a pipe sticking out of my wall. Actually, I could probably show you guys here.
Little dude that lives in the wall has
there's
a
little
family.
pipe right there.
Yep.
right here. There's a little pipe. I don't
Hey, I
know
can
if you
help
guys can really keep
Belting
it,
now.
like see it there, but um, so basically, it's the kitchen is on the other side of the wall here, and it I would assume it previously ran into whatever used water, a dishwasher or something, but it's just there now. And there's a very small hole at the bottom of it, and there's a little black spider that lives in there. So I'm like, oh hey, it's that little dude. And he's
Nope.
comes just cruising across my floor, runs straight over the top of my foot, and just keeps going. I'm like, that's a new one. Like, hey
So
man, could you not do that? Like, we have an agreement. You live here and don't bother me, and I don't have to like squish you. we're getting a little testy on the grounds there.
so Fox, you said something before Neil started talking. I couldn't hear you, so I had to refresh the browser. What was it that you said?
Oh, I was saying that you were combining two different stories that I had told about
Oh.
the Ouija. So
Okay, well,
The-
one of the stories, you had somebody's Ouija board disappear. You got thrown away, and it appeared somewhere. Okay, or something happened,
yeah,
and it
that
appeared.
was my
Yeah, the
friend's
legend.
aunt or whoever. Yeah.
Yeah, look, I don't care, legend or not, bitch. It appeared out of nowhere. Okay, I don't care. I don't touch that. Okay, but that's kind of a little bit backstory on the Ouija board. Apparently, the Parker brothers buys the Ouija board in 1966, and then in 1967 it outsells Monopoly. What?
Yeah, for like 6 months.
That is the only time any game has done that, though. That's crazy. All
Well,
right,
yeah,
look.
Because most likely a movie or
Contacting the
something.
I don't
dead
care,
sounds a
little
more
mister,
interesting than
because
playing Monopoly.
yeah, you're right. Summoning demons is way more interesting than, oh, hey, I just bought this property, or, oh, hey, I'm going to jail. Or what
Yeah,
is it?
Monopoly is just
Roll a
the whole
6
thing.
and get out of jail, whatever it is. But, why? Hey, I get to summon a demon. Let's go.
Free parking. That's the one. Speaking
That
of
whole
Monopoly,
summoning
we should
demon
all
thing.
be playing Cheaters Edition at some point here. That would be fun.
Yeah, he always mentions it when we go. He's like, we going to play the Cheaters Edition? I was like, maybe. But, yeah.
Not actually familiar with that, so
So basically, he explained is you gotta cheat. If you get caught cheating, you lose.
So, what it is there's 5 cheats that you can do at the time. So it's like steal money from another player, remove property from somebody else's board, and like a hotel off of somebody's property and put it on yours. If you don't get caught, you get a bonus for having completed the cheat. If you get caught, the flip side of the cheat is you have to pay everybody whatever amount in admiration, or go to jail, or lose a house, or give a property back, or whatever it is. But it's really funny because it encourages everybody to be like, oh, I'm so sorry, I knocked over I pushed your money on the ground on accident, and like as you're leaning over, you're just like like it, I've seen a couple of games of it from just YouTubers that I watch already, and it looks like a blast because it's just like, yeah, no problem. Put your arm around somebody and like reach down and grab their money. Like, yeah, we're bestest friends, right? Like, but he's
So
like this at the end of the game, like, don't touch my properties, don't touch my
just smack, be like,
houses,"
don't touch.
No. Well, it's
Okay.
really funny because when you get sent to jail, there's a little handcuff that you put on your wrist, and it like slides on the edge of the board. So it can slide on any edge of the board, but it's just like it's so you can't just be like yank your arm away to do something. Like it's always in visible state there. So it's
So
just it's really fun to watch, and I think it would be even like better to play it,
funnier to
obviously.
play.
So
All right, so
yeah.
I know I've been stuck on this topic a little bit more, but I kept reading the article. I was But it says when the Ouija board was invented during Victorian times, it broke a lot of rules. At a time when you weren't supposed to be alone with people of opposite sex and people weren't supposed to be touching. The Ouija board was built so that you put it on your knees and your fingers would touch. So this was the ultimate date game. The original direction would say that for the best results, use with 2 people. Lady and gentleman preferred, and that's why men wanted to buy it for women.
Makes a lot of sense, yeah.
Sure, man.
The,
I mean,
the old version of Netflix and chill.
Yeah, that's,
Yup.
that's the old Netflix and chill
BG and
version.
die over here.
So somebody, okay. So apparently a question was asked: are there any books, movies, or TV shows that change the way that people see the Ouija board? The movie in question or mentioned was The Exorcist, 1973, had a big impact on how people viewed the board. Earlier movies would make it a joke, which yes, a lot of movies would make it a joke out of it. It would spell something embarrassing. It's in an I Love Lucy episode called The Seance. There in The Exorcist, it inferred that this little girl uses the board and then becomes possessed by a demon. So this idea of demonic possession of the Ouija board takes off, and terrified Americans, yes, Americans are terrified of just about anything that can't be explained.
What I see on TV.
Oh yeah. All of the urban legends about the Ouija board, Ouija stations are in the movie Witchboard. So all the films that feature the Ouija board made since draw on Witchboard. So that's the end of the article on that, which is kind of interesting. Again, I wouldn't touch it with a 20-foot pole myself. My
The pole's
curiosity, huh?
The pole's growing.
Yup. Oh yeah. It's gonna get to 40, 100. I don't know, but it's gonna keep growing. But it is just a
17 and a half.
curiosity of mine. Tasha, I know you're watching. What are your 2 cents on all this? I do have a couple viewers. I don't know if they got any 2 cents on the Ouija, or the 40-foot pole that has gone from 20 to 40 now. Yeah, and anything else that you guys got questions? I gotta get questions going too. So this is the part of the first episode, which I have yet to see how long we're going, which is fine.
It's been an hour, 49 minutes, 37 seconds.
Well, this is meant to go on as long as we want, so H. Arliss.
Yeah, I gotta work tomorrow. Like,
Yeah, exactly.
Hey. We're gonna do it all night. No, I'm just kidding. I gotta work tomorrow too, but H.
speaking of,
H.
I work
Aries
on D&D stuff tomorrow.
Arliss Aries. How do you say that name? Thank you for the follow. Welcome to the Paranormal Talk. Actually, I don't know. Yeah, sure, Paranormal Talk. I don't have my alerts going
Paranormal
off.
Talk.
I just somebody just followed, so welcome. We just finished the topic of Ouija. I just asked if anybody's had that 2 cents on the Ouija board or the talking board. I would rather, it feels safer to call it the talking board than the Ouija board. I'm gonna call it the
Don't
talking
be a
board.
pussy.
Oh, yeah, I was
Fuck
like, come on.
you.
man.
Look, I'll take it, but that's fine. It feels better saying that. Just saying.
It's so weird.
It is. It's weird. I don't know why it feels.
No,
like,
I'm looking at.
Oh,
So in the guest star area, whatever.
yeah.
That is telling me that you don't have a camera, but on stream you actually have a camera.
Oh,
so
yeah. So I can only
I'm
have
not
one.
Sure why.
Because I can only have one. So if I have it on OBS, I can't have it on the chat, the guest chat. But
Makes sense.
if I have it on the chat, if I have it on the guest star, I can't have it on OBS. So I'm going OBS
Yeah,
because
I
I
mean,
got
that
all of
makes
you
sense.
guys. Yeah, like you see the stream, you're watching the stream.
3/4 of us.
Yeah, so it records all of us, which it looks really cool. Not gonna lie, I like this setup. Obviously it'll probably change for 3 of us in the future if possible, which is something we'll talk about down in the future later. Because it would be nice to have it that way. But again, H. Harles, I swear to God, it's Aries, but I don't know. Correct me in the chat if I am wrong. But yes. Let's see. I know a while back, me and my brother talked about a case because I watched. All right, all right. I've watched
Okay.
the movies, the Conjuring movies. What do you
Oh,
think? Yeah, yeah. Fox, what do you think about? Have you seen the pair? So first of all, do you watch horror movies?
Yeah.
Okay, I kind of figured since we're like all in the topic of it. And have you seen the Conjuring movies?
Yep. I've seen
And,
all of them.
okay, I own all of them, and even the Annabelle movies.
You own
So
every horror movie ever.
not yet, but so me and my brother
Oh,
had
so
a.
humble.
I mean, I can show you the wall. There's a couple of horror movies that I am probably missing, which is like all the Halloween, all the Scream, Friday
Yeah,
the
see, there you
13th.
go. A couple.
pretty
It's-
sure you don't got
I-
Hitchcock movies.
Friday the 13th isn't.
No, I don't have the Hitchcock
but no.
movies.
That's not a horror movie.
That's not a horror movie. It could be made into one. But Fox,
Right.
the last Conjuring movie, The Devil Made Me Do It.
Yeah.
So me and my brother had a discussion on that, and I have technically that podcast. I call it a podcast because it was similar to what we're doing now, but it was just
More of
me
a
and him.
discussion video.
Yeah, it was more of a discussion video at that point. This is more of like an actual podcast area now. But we came to the conclusion of that it would have been easier if it would have been claimed insane rather than the devil made me do it. But I want your 2 cents on that. Like, we did a little bit of research on that. Well, I did a little bit of research on that, and like, here's the other thing with possession. We kind of talked because I know the Ouija board here. It says that obviously the Exorcist movie was caused a lot of terror with the Ouija board and the possession and that stuff. So do you? So obviously, I believe that it's possible. Like okay, so a lot of these Conjuring movies, they have like at the end of the movies, they have like the actual exorcisms that happened, like in the very end, or like
So that would be Ed and Lorraine Warren doing the exorcisms.
Yup, and or even in the actual Exorcist movie, where at the very end in the credits, like they put the actual audio of the
Yep.
true story it was based on. I cut the movie off. I've never seen the Exorcist movie. That's like, so I've always been terrified. I've never seen them. Well, again, being that I grew up in a very religious home, on top of the fact that I believe in possession so much that it could happen just by hearing it, that it can get transferred through the TV just by hearing it. So I grew up very scared and sheltered as
You're
hell.
in a wrong horror movie. That's The Ring. You
That-
gotta know that.
That was okay. That was like my worst horror movie for me is like The Grudge, hands down, the worst movie. And I own every single one of the Grudge movies, and have the Ju-on Origins on Netflix. That's how traumatized I got from these movies that I now own them.
Well, The Exorcist, I was never able to watch it as a kid because my parents wouldn't let me watch it.
Right,
I
right.
believe it's because they were Catholic. They told me that they didn't let me watch it because they were afraid I would get too scared of it.
Oh,
Well,
it was the
I
opposite for
I
me.
bought the movie once I was an adult, and I was so excited. I was going to sit down. I was going to get the life just scared out of me.
And
That
it's the
was the
most
most boring ass movie I have
I was
ever
gonna
seen.
say, I was gonna say, dude, I was literally gonna say when I finally watched, I've watched it, but when I finally watched it, that I fucking most boring ass movie ever. However, again, I cut off at the credit scene when they said that they were going to show like the real possession audios. That in the back of my head, it wasn't that it scared me. It's just something that again it was put into me that can get past like so there have been cases of exorcism where somebody would be standing there. Once the one person got exorcised, it moved on to the next person. Because technically
Yeah,
it
I've heard of
opens.
that kind of thing.
So, with that fear in the back of my head, it's something that I never cared to, So, I would always cut it off. But as soon as I saw that Exorcist movie, I was like, the fuck was the whole fear about this shit? It was so freaking boring. And
Yeah.
then they had the freaking was it Scary Movie? What parody they made? Somebody made a parody of it.
Yeah, Scary Movie was a parody of it. I love
Yeah,
Scary Movie. That was great.
dude, that was awesome. So after watching Scary Movie and seeing the parody, that's where I was like, oh fuck it, I can watch the movie just fine. Totally fine. I actually kind of almost laughed at how stupid it looked.
Yeah.
And how why would everybody be scared of it? But when it got to the last part of it, I was like, nah, I'm done. I don't want to hear this shit. I believe in this shit too much, so I was out. I was like, no, I'm good. And it's kind of the same thing with the Conjuring movies at the very end, where you can hear the Ed and Lorraine Warren thing, which is kind of creepy. And I'm like, nope, I'm done. I went past. I'm like, but we had the discussion. It was like a discussion video on would it really pass? And it turns out that no, obviously it wouldn't really pass because there's no hard proof evidence of possession. Supposedly, scientifically, when somebody's possessed, their involuntary movements and they're constantly there's no way of keeping them still to do some form of CAT scan to try and scientifically prove that it's just a mental illness. So again, there's no way of proving it, and so it turned out I'm reading what he sent on chat. Sorry. uh Mind if I read it?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so Fox said, did you know that author William Peter Blady's novel The Exorcist was inspired by the actual 1949 exorcism of a young boy from Cottage City, Maryland? Man, all this came from Maryland. First the Ouija board, now The Exorcist. Come on. What's going on,
Some
Maryland?
pattern
Yeah, I know. And the horrifying 1634 London exorcism. I've heard of the London exorcism. That one I hear was really bad. The story goes that Blatty heard about the Maryland case while he was a student at Georgetown University. Yeah, so the London one I've heard about, and I've heard about the one in the inspired The Exorcist was a boy, although then the Exorcism of Emily Rose. I don't know if you've that one.
I haven't yet seen that movie. Not
It's the same as the other
for
ones.
yeah, it's not for the fact that I couldn't see it because it was on like Netflix and all of that
It
kind of
was,
stuff.
yeah. It's like
I just really wasn't interested in seeing it. So
so after watching that one, I was like, eh. And then I didn't want to care for it, but I did see the Ouija board movies.
yeah.
Eh, eh. Again, the one that has given me nightmares and shit is The Grudge.
The only movie that ever really got to me was it's an old campy movie. It's called Night of the Demons.
Oh, I thought you were about to
And
say Night of the Living Dead.
no, love that movie.
That was good. That was a good one.
But I watched this movie again recently, and it's terrible in the way that it was filmed and the acting and everything. But I was like probably 14, A friend of mine
Okay.
lived down the street from us, and there was 4 of us guys that always got together.
Okay.
And every weekend we would go out and we would rent the worst B-rated movies you could possibly rent.
And that was one of them.
Yeah, and I remember I was sitting he in his TV room. They had a couch and they had 2 chairs. And I was sitting in a chair and I was curled up. I had my knees up to my chest holding on to them, and that movie just freaked me out. And it's the only horror movie that I can say that about, and I've seen basically every horror movie that's been made.
Yeah.
So, or every type of horror movie.
Speaking of horror, dude, I forgot that this happened. It's gonna go away from horror movies, but it's going back to scary movie. But something that happened to me, I don't know how it happened. I'm assuming the flame got too high or something. Okay, so the reason why I can't explain what happened is when I was living in Florida, I used to live in a house, um, and in my bedroom, so the lady who owned the house used to own a wolf. I don't know if she's dead or not, but she used to own a wolf. Probably a wolf dog or a real wolf.
Yeah.
No, it was a real wolf. Cause you are well, it was probably me. So I know some states you can own a real wolf, but you cannot own a wolf dog. So like in Minnesota, if it's more wolf and it has very little part dog, you can own it. But if it's literally part wolf, part dog, like half, it is illegal to own. At least that's some of the research I've done.
Actually, you're a little bit backwards on that.
Oh, am I backwards on it?
Yeah.
Okay.
The less part wolf, or the more part wolf that it is, you can't own it. But if it's like a half, or if it's more dog than wolf, you can.
Okay.
Minnesota has a exotic animals ban. Like you're not supposed to be able to buy a python here in Minnesota,
Okay.
but I know several people that have them. But you can't like own a tiger or a jaguar or something like that here in the
Okay.
state.
So I had a little backwards, but anyways, this lady, her son had died, and he loved wolves. I love wolves. I mean, I got a giant tattoo of a wolf. I have a giant tattoo with a wolf and an owl. I love wolf. And so since her son had passed away, and my dad used to work for her for a company that she owned, she told them that, hey, I have this wolf dog or wolf, and and my dad would always say that I love wolves, and so she invited us over to her house, and she gave me this bunch of wolf stuff, which I love, and I don't know what happened in all this moving that I've done in my life, that I have lost all those wolf things, and that I wish I would have kept. But there was this big fan, wolf fan, and what I mean by fan is that little, you know what some women do or some people use in very hot days,
Yeah, the one
and
that
they
spreads open.
and they fan
A
themselves with
hand
it,
fan.
a hand
Yep.
fan. So she had given me one, a huge wolf one. So when it opened up, it opened up to like this wolf mural kind of thing. And it was beautiful. And I had it hang up on my wall in my bedroom. And I had my cousins over, and my uncle was sleeping in bed. And me and my cousins were sitting watching. Mind you, I was young. I wasn't allowed to watch this movie, but we're all rebels. And we were watching the scary movie, one of the scary movies. And we were laughing. And all of a sudden, in the corner of my eye, I see a flash. I just see a flash. Mind you, we're all dark. It's supposed to be sleeping. And as soon as I look over, my bedroom's on fire. Not my bedroom, but the thing is on fire. And so my uncle gets up and runs to the kitchen. He goes, your thing is on fire. Why'd you leave? Like, your big fan's on fire. Why'd you leave a candle under it? Blah, blah. I'm like, I had no candle under there. What do you mean? And like, we had ran and we tried to, we like got it off because it was literally on fire. Luckily, it didn't like burn the whole thing, but the wood that hold it caught singed, and like it was weird because the candle, first of all, was way on the floor, almost on the floor, because it was on a little shelf, and that thing was hanging up on the wall. There was like way away from the fire, but all of a sudden it was just this flash, and boom, it was on fire, and like what the fuck kind of thing, like that. I've had some creepy, supernatural, like we couldn't explain on how that flame, that little tiny candle, just all of a sudden burst up enough, and it must have been strong enough to catch wood on fire, because it's not something easily caught on fire.
Those big fans are usually made of like bamboo and paper.
Right, and
So
it singed the wood. It was
yeah,
crazy. So it's like, what? So yeah, I've had a bunch of supernatural slash paranormal experiences for sure.
Actually, speaking on that, on like things catching on fire, I actually remember one time, my sister went to like the King Tut Museum
Oh
exhibit they
shit!
were going to in Miami, and like after she came back, pretty much she was telling my mom about it and everything. We were in the living room. My mom was just cooking some beans, and out of nowhere we smell fire. Like, what the hell's going on? We go to the kitchen, and I don't know, literally the beans caught fire, and the fire reached all the way to the roof. So
That's
from the
crazy.
stove all the way to the roof.
And
I'm like,
don't you
Well, that's
don't you
not good.
guys? If I remember, you have an electric stove. No, you have a gas stove.
no, I got electric stove.
Electric
We
stove.
don't
Right,
have
right,
gas.
right.
Gas is actually illegal here in Florida.
Yeah,
Um,
Which
especially in
makes sense.
apartments. Especially in
it will be in
apartments.
Minnesota in a few years as well.
Yup.
Yeah,
so
So
pretty
we're
much
going.
we were like completely shocked. Like, what the hell is going on? We were panicking and everything,
hold on, I'll be right
trying
back,
to put
guys.
it out.
Keep going.
Okay.
Yeah, and like we were like wondering what the hell was going on, and like to this day we can't even still explain what exactly caused that fire.
Yep.
Like we were thinking, I don't know, maybe the cursed King Tut thing is actually real, because that was just really weird. It just we started talking about it. It's like, I don't know, where fire in the kitchen. I don't know if you guys ever had like a weird experience like that.
My brother's lit a couple things on fire. No, I've never had anything like that before. I've been in spots where it was my fault that things happen like that, but definitely not just like, oh, my whatever I was cooking is just on fire now, or like, oh yeah, there's just like something on the wall is just burning. Yeah, I've never had anything like that. Um, I did once accidentally burn a pan so bad that it caused my fire alarm to go off. But yeah, nothing like you guys are talking about. Oh god, I keep picking my desk and shaking my camera. Well, because the camera sits on the monitor, and the
Yep.
monitor sits on an arm, and the arm sits on the table, and the table is only on two little stilt legs, because it's a
Yep.
little, just a, it's a desk that we got like 20, 20 years ago for the
Yeah.
1995 desktop that we used to own. So I just took it with me when we moved because it was the only thing that I could put a computer on because that's what it's for. So,
It
but
sounds
every
like
time I literally
time for an
move
upgrade.
or do anything else, it hits the edges of my desk and it just wobbles. So
I've
if you ever see
noticed
my
it a
camera
couple
going
of
like
times.
this,
Yeah.
there you go. That's the reason.
I can't think of anything that's ever happened that would be like something bursting into flames. I have had instances where you see shadows move in your peripheral vision,
Hmm.
and then you turn to
Oh, I
look,
ignore those.
there's nothing there.
I ignore those all the
And
time.
yeah, that got explained. Um, I was talking to a group of ghost hunters, and there was an engineer that was in there, and I've been an engineer in my previous work experience. Um, and basically, what they were saying is that your peripheral vision is like soft vision. Um, it's like if you put your eyes out of focus, that's considered soft vision. But your regular sight is a hard vision, if that's probably not the right terminology for it, but um, and the theory is that in your peripheral vision, you can see things that are just out of sync with our current plane of existence. So, they talk about that there's several planes that are like right on top of our plane. Um,
Hmm.
and the supernatural world, if you will, is supposed to be a plane that's separated from us. But on certain times of the year, which would be um, around May 1st and October 30th, those veils are supposed to be thin. Um, but anyways, the plane between us and them is thin enough that they're able to cross back and forth. And supposedly, out of your side vision, you can see things that are either in that plane or have crossed into our plane. So, and that's why when you turn and look, you don't see it anymore.
Makes sense.
Yep.
I always chopped it up to like the trick of the light,
Yo,
pretty
a
much.
Raikou in their shop right now.
What was
Raikou.
that?
All right, I'm back.
I'm looking at the Pokemon stuff
Oh,
Mm,
in
No.
Deadlands chat there.
Oh, okay.
Cody's chat.
Uh,
I was looking at the like paid shop, the battle shop or whatever here, and there's a legendary in there right now,
oh. Um.
Raikou.
So Raikou, not Raikou. I will
It says Raikou, which is Raikou.
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 Kou.
Raikou. That's how it's pronounced. Raikou. Okay.
Kou.
Pokemon. He's mispronouncing
Yo.
it.
I'm mispronouncing the Japanese word of
Anyways,
Raikou.
this isn't about that. We can make a different topic about that.
we were just talking about when you see like shadows in your peripheral vision and
Oh
you turn
yeah.
and there's nothing there. And I was kind of explaining what I've heard about it. So the theory is that your side vision is a softer vision than your front on vision.
Mhm.
And supposedly the plane between us and the supernatural world is supposed to be very thin. They call it a veil.
Yep.
And supposedly, out of your side vision, you can see sometimes into that veil or things that have crossed into this world from that veil. But when you turn to look at it, it disappears because of the difference in your vision.
They also say that children can see other things we can't see.
And
That's
cats
because
and
their vision
dogs.
hasn't
Yeah.
developed as fully as more mature humans.
Well, yeah, pretty much kids are known to have a bigger active imagination.
Bitch, I
That's
still
why
got a
like
big
so like
ass active
imagine.
imagination.
Well, that explains a lot, man.
And I this actually brings up an interesting point. Um, so the Final Destination movies, um, when the whole point is them looking for the signs of death, pointing to who's coming next. Um, that's kind of the same thing as like the peripheral vision thing. So it's like, well, you're not gonna see it if you're looking for it.
Right.
but it's just like,
Yep.
oh, this is kind of out of place. That's weird. And then you see it, and like you can actually pay attention to it at that point. Um, it's just something I wanted to throw out there because it is an interesting point to make. Because it's like, well,
Yep.
they can't just look for it, you know.
Right.
So
Interesting.
Makes sense.
I didn't think about it that way. I've seen them, but I didn't think about them that way.
it's been a long time since I've seen the Final Destination movies, but
Right.
um, uh, a couple of them I still remember. A lot of the more interesting scenes I remember. I don't know if it's one or two or five, but there's one where uh, they're they're just beginning to understand, like just beginning to understand that there are always there's always a sign before death decides to take somebody next.
So like the third
And
or fourth movie.
yeah, I don't know. Again, it's been so long since I've seen them. I couldn't tell you which scenes are from what movies anymore. But there's one where they were just getting used to like looking at quote unquote for them, and it's like uh, they look at the wall or like something hits the window or whatever, and they all go, oh god, and they look that way, and then they notice that there's a light on that shouldn't be on, and one of them notices in the closet that the wire hangers are casting a shadow on the wall with the weird light that's supposed to be off, and it's making the like hanging man or whatever it was. um so that's the image that came to mind when he was explaining the peripheral versus the like frontal vision.
Right. Interesting. Interesting. Another thing is why I wholly believe in the paranormal and the supernatural, and literally, well, the Bible explains it. Like it in the for me being that I'm the Christian religious one, in the Bible it literally explains it and mentions the Ouija board and it mentions all this. Doesn't mention the Ouija board, but it does mention about the talking board.
He's being corrected by his wife, if
Yeah.
anybody's curious on that
Hold on,
point.
hold on. Come here, come here, come here. All right, say it.
King Saul, after Samuel died, he went and consulted a medium to talk to Samuel, because Samuel was a prophet. But
He was
Samuel,
told not to.
yeah, he was all the mediums were supposed to have been kicked out, and since he was the king, he was supposed to be enforcing that. And Samuel was pissed because he talked to Samuel, and Samuel was pissed about being consulted about a medium being consulted and talking to him.
So it's
Makes
mentioned in a lot back in time. So, and again, we make fun of Catholics all the time. Like me and my wife have these discussions, and we make fun of Catholics so hard, and they kind of deserve it on themselves. They put that on themselves, but the Bible itself explains, well, not explains, but mentions a lot of it. You know. Oh my God! Hold on! Don't talk. Hold on! I gotta refresh. Okay. Okay, you're back. I think you're back. Sorry.
Single time I hear anything like Bible related, I pretty much just tend to ignore it because like everybody knows that the original Bible language nobody could really read or understand it, and has been translated so many goddamn times
Right,
that it's like
translation
who
gets
knows
lost.
exactly what is the original text of it.
Right. But either
So
way,
it pretty much has been modernized to for us to understand, and that can be interpreted in any physical way at all. That's
it's
why like
I still believe in
every single
creepy
time
shit.
you're like a different person reads the Bible, they have their own interpretation of what anything means in general.
Actually, yes, that is true. But
Like
with
funny thing
ever
is like
since
one thing the Bible literally says that if you wear like clothing of two different type of animals, like two different types of like leather, you're going to hell.
No, that's your Catholic,
It
bro.
it literally says that. You can look it up. I forget.
That's the Catholic. Remember, that's
I
bullshit.
don't know.
There are many
I
different
know.
versions
There are
of the
many.
Bible,
So
Yeah,
the
exactly. Well,
biggest
it's like
version, the
which
biggest version that I've come to like, it's not even a version. It's more of my understanding and my interpretation and the way I believe in it. That's by the way, you know me and how my beliefs are. I
yeah,
don't really trust what other people say, but when I take the time to look into it, I learn certain things. But that's because I took the time to look into it and study. So my wife's parent actually are they, which is really cool. They actually break it down more of they break it away from like the religion part of it, but at the same time they don't. I don't know how if that makes sense. So it's not all about the book, the Bible. It's not all about what was written in it. It's more broken down into the actual aspect of it, of what really. Obviously, we don't know what really happened, but it's like the speculation that you can follow a full tree generation of people, and stuff like that. But you know how my with me and religion is. It's completely different than what
yeah,
your typical Christian whatever is. And you know how my mom is, bro. You know how
yeah. I
my
know.
mom is. She hates. So my mom hates the fact that I got tattoos. So the biggest thing for her, yeah. So, well, I told her I got this big one. She was like, "Oh no, why'd you do that? Don't you want to go to heaven?" I'm like, "Mom, the Bible has nothing against tattoos. Nothing against
exactly.
tattoos.
And everybody
And
knows,
like
in fact, that Inuit literally have tattoos. So
exactly. Well, the funniest thing is, I told my mom's wife about that, and my mother-in-law, and she goes, "What?" And like, mind you, they're really religious too. Like they're deep in religion, and I told her about it. She's like, "That's not true. That's not there." I'm like, "I know it's not there. Like you can look through it, and I've looked through it, and it's not there." So it's just so funny, and also, well, and that leads us to that. That'll lead me to the next thing is a lot of the supernatural paranormal comes from some form of truth, legend, or myth.
Yeah.
You basically
Well,
can
sure.
break it down to that. Well, and it involves religion because some of these are because of religion. Some of the stories we
Yeah.
have is because of that. So, and that kind of breaks it down to why religion bring we're not bringing politics into this. If you want to bring politics, get the fuck out, basically. I'm religion because it's actually
Look,
parts
man,
of
I've
this,
seen some people
but
on TV telling me all about how the Bible has led them to this point.
yeah.
yeah.
So we're gonna stay away from that, um but the reason why religion is where I'm mentioning religion a lot more is because it's kind of revolved around the supernatural and the paranormal. Because really, some of it started because, and I mean, the witchcraft. The Catholics hated anybody that would believe in magic.
Yeah.
And that what that leads back from is, when Christianity was being I want to say formed, but that's not correct. When they were taking power, one of the things that they wanted to do um, was to remove magic from the hands of the people.
Right.
And like the Catholic religion is actually a very magically based religion.
Oh yeah.
And they they used to do like readings and that kind of stuff in the Catholic religion when it was in its infancy. Um, and like when the churches were first formed, a lot of stuff that the witches were doing would be the same thing they were doing,
but
but because they didn't believe in their God,
it was wrong.
it was wrong.
Yup.
And the whole premise of a witch was originally a wise person. And the wise person was the person in the village that knew what herbs to get to help heal somebody and that kind of thing. And they turned all of that into witchcraft.
Yup. Because it was a form of healing or medicine
Yeah, pretty
that,
much the sage of the village.
yeah, which went
Yep.
against what they believed, basically.
Well, they didn't want people educated because
Right.
educated people aren't going to believe what
What-
religion is telling them.
Yup. They would
Exactly.
argue it, basically.
Yeah.
So, and that's why I bring up religion a lot, and is because of that. Is that there's always, it leads back to it, basically.
Yep.
And a little fun fact history: my wife, my mother-in-law, something about our ancestors was one of her ancestors was accused of witchcraft, burnt in the Salem trials.
Oh,
So
wow.
yeah, that's pretty interesting. She told me that. I'm like, what? We had a witch in the family?
Well, the funny thing about that is most of the people that were killed in the witch trials and
Weren't
most
even
of them were
witches.
wrong. Yeah, they weren't even witches. They were just somebody wanted somebody else's land or somebody was pissed at somebody else.
And bad
And they
luck
would
came
accuse
against
them
them.
to be,
Yeah.
they would accuse them as being a witch so that they could get their land or not have to deal with this person anymore.
Yup. So it wasn't even because of they were actually practicing malpractice, whatever they were practicing, or trying to believe in whatever they were trying to believe. It was simply they wanted to get rid of somebody. They're gonna get accused of witchcraft, plain and simple.
Well, if you think about it, the people that would be actually considered witches would be the healers.
What we call doctors now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
I mean,
know-
we can still burn the witches today too. I mean, if that's how we're gonna equate it.
I'm thinking that's illegal now, but I think some people are trying to make it not illegal, but whatever.
Really?
Oh,
I wouldn't be
you heard
surprised.
about some of the crap that's going on down south?
Dude, I don't.
Nope,
Okay,
Don't care.
not talking about it. Look, let's not get there because there's so many stupid things going on. I'm like, the biggest thing though for me, those books. They're trying to get rid of books.
Yeah, I
Yep.
don't abide by books.
That's
In fact,
yeah.
I found a meme that says a book worth burning is a book worth reading. And I love
You're
that.
right. Yeah. Okay.
Yep,
So
that's
what's
been a saying for a while now. That's
So
one of
I've-
those they tried to get the books back into schools, like To Kill a Mockingbird and stuff like that.
They did
know,
get it back to Kill a
that-
Mockingbird.
Well, yeah, and a lot of the other ones too.
Oh
and
yeah.
that's what they used. It's like if you're willing to burn them, we're gonna keep
We're gonna
them
yeah,
hidden
yeah.
and safe so that future generations know what you guys did.
Right. And so actually funny thing is, just real quick about this whole book thing, I had a coworker of mine. The reason I only bringing this up is because of this coworker of mine. He told me to read a book, and this book, he described it, was basically this. In the book, the government, again, I don't want to talk politics, but it's just so interesting that the person, and in the book was that anybody that was found with a book would instantly get jail time or killed,
Oh,
depending
isn't
on the
that
book.
Fahrenheit something?
I don't remember, but
Fahrenheit 451.
451.
yeah,
that.
that I
That's-
think it's that one where like this person was hiding books to teach a future generation about books, because if you were found with a book, you were either given the death sentence depending on the book you were caught with, or killed right or sentenced to jail.
Yep.
And it was like a sci-fi book or fiction or whatever book, but I'm like, dude,
That's
this
one of the ones that was banned from schools.
oh really?
specifically. Yep,
I didn't
along
know
with
that,
To Kill a
but
Mockingbird and many of those other ones.
see, I
Like
didn't
even
know
Harry
that
Potter, because it was
witches
Oh,
and
uh,
magic.
magical.
it was
Dude, I was
witches
in.
and magic, but it
Yeah.
was also like prejudicing against like muggles,
Yeah.
Muggles,
humans.
yeah.
They're different races, quote unquote, fighting each other.
Oh,
So
gee, I wonder
it
what it
it's
reminds us of.
yeah, weird, right? But yeah, it's
What's the
I haven't
book
read it,
Fahrenheit?
or if I Fahrenheit 451
I'm
or
gonna try and get my
51.
hands on that book. I'm curious now to read it because of. It's funny that this guy, older guy, very older gentleman I used to work with, and he would talk to me about books. Very intelligent guy. Um,
Mhm.
and we would talk about at work every day about books and stuff and what from being he's an older generation, I'm a newer generation, but I've always been fascinated with the older generation. And so through his life and stuff like that, he kind of talked to me of stuff he'd been through and stuff, and he mentioned a book, and then I saw this thing about the schools trying to ban books, and if you get caught with the book you go to jail basically. And then now this book comes to mind. I'm like, wow, this book was reading, I don't remember when, how many years ago, and we're
It's an
experiencing
old
something
book.
similar,
Probably
you
It's
more in
know.
the
from
80s or something, maybe.
it's from like this. I think it's the 70s.
I
70s?
can look it up real quick because I still have this.
70s or 80s, I think.
Fahrenheit
451.
451, I think was written
Ray Bradbury.
maybe the 60s.
Published
Eh,
October
1953
1953.
Oh,
Okay.
wow, that's even older than I thought it was. Okay.
Jeez, that's
dystopian
crazy.
novel.
Somebody
Well,
That's
it's
did.
what I'm
just
saying. It's
like,
like it's an old book, and
Oh
yeah,
it
shit!
has had like a rewrite,
They
so it
made a
is
movie.
more like modern text. Oh yeah, of course.
I
Yeah, the
didn't.
movie. That I actually saw the movie in school.
I'm gonna watch the movie now. It says I can watch it on HBO. Let's go with Michael
Yeah, it is a
B.
really good movie.
Jordan. Oh, nice. Okay.
1984 is another book that you might want to read.
1984. I'm just
Is
gonna
that
write down. I don't have my book, but I'm gonna write down books to read, and I'm gonna put this
is
on the
that
list.
the basically the art hunting teams from like World War
1984 is
II?
about Big Brother.
Oh,
Oh,
it's about Big
okay.
Brother. Okay.
So
Yeah.
I'm
And there's
I was
another one that
thinking
go ahead.
I was gonna say I was thinking it was there's a movie about it. I don't remember the name, but it's basically uh during the war and after the war, there's like not so much treasure hunters, but like relic hunters that were trying to find all of the art and like uh precious statues and idols and all that stuff that um
what was the book
Germany
name?
was
Sorry.
collecting and hiding away for um to get it out of the hands of the people. And that's what I thought you would it would be referring
What
to,
was
because
the
it's like
name of the book?
it's still
1984.
oh
Sorry. Keep going. I'm writing down notes.
no, you're good.
It
No,
was
I
written
it's
by
just
George
that's
Orwell.
what I thought he was referring to, because I know it's obviously there's still a period of time where nowadays it doesn't happen anymore, but like in the 50s, the 60s, the 70s, there's a large period of time where they continued to look for all of this stuff that was hidden in like bunkers
Yep.
and such. And it's like all the art pieces from Jewish painters, and it's statues taken from like different temples and churches and wherever else they could take it from, because they were collecting all this uh, not memorabilia, but um,
History.
history, yeah, all the religious history of other cultures, because they were they were self-proclaimed the dominant race or
Right.
whatever it was. And so they were collecting up all this other stuff from all these other races and just like either destroying it or doing whatever to it. So it's a as far as I've heard, it's a great movie. I can't remember the name of the movie, but I bet you if you looked up World War II like relic hunters or something, you'd eventually find it if you
Find the
kind of work your
movie.
way. Yeah, if you
Yep.
sift through a couple things. But I've heard it's an excellent movie. I haven't seen it though, so
What day is tomorrow? The 28th.
So
Tuesday.
28th.
yeah. So did you guys know that Hitler was very much into the supernatural?
What?
Oh, yeah.
No, I was not
That
aware.
I knew.
Have you
What?
never seen the first Indiana Jones movie?
I did, but I can't barely remember it because I passed out watching it. And the first time I
He
ever watched it was on a date with my girl. So,
What did they?
So the first Indiana Jones movie
I
is
passed
he's
the fuck
stopping
out.
Hitler from getting the Ark of the Covenant.
Exactly.
Oh,
He finds the
yeah.
Ark of the Covenant. They take it to a remote island, and he opens it, and all the spirits blow out, and
Yep.
basically
Now I remember.
eviscerate everybody in the area except for Indiana Jones and the girl.
Because they
Ye-
kept their eyes shut.
Yep, I remember
Because
now.
they knew not to look at the light, the power of heaven, whatever you want to call it.
That's crazy.
So, yeah, there's a lot of stuff in the Indiana Jones movies that are like, oh, haha, it's Indiana Jones, but there's also a lot of historically accurate stuff. Like obviously they never found the Ark of the Covenant.
Yep.
There's no way.
Well, unless
But
it's in one of those big warehouses somewhere that the government stole shit.
Right.
Something like
oh,
that.
we all know
Yeah,
that.
Mount
yeah.
Rushmore.
But
yeah,
we're not
Konami.
getting
Like
political
Mount
here right
Mushroom.
now.
That's where Mount Mushmore.
Yup.
Oh,
But yeah, so there's very much historical accuracy, if not to like a proper degree. But
I didn't know
it,
that. That's crazy.
it's very much like the burning of the
Yeah.
books in the middle of Berlin. That was absolutely a thing. They were 100% collecting all the books about whatever subjects they didn't like and just burning them.
Bro,
They
I
were
feel like
looking
that's something that's gonna
into the
happen.
supernatural.
I'm
Yeah.
thinking that's gonna happen when it's taking that route.
They can try, but
can
there's
try,
a
but
lot more. There's a lot more precautions in place. There's a lot more
You think?
security in place. Well,
Yeah.
nowadays, sure, yeah. I mean, imagine if you gathered a town full of people and started burning books in the middle of the city. Like, it's
they're gonna be riots on both sides.
True.
yeah. There would be no way that it isn't found out with all of social media presence and all of like maybe one person goes, well, I didn't actually like that. I'm gonna go tell my friends that we did that, and then literally everything goes
Like
crazy.
TikTok.
Like,
It
yeah,
posts
like
on
TikTok.
TikTok and it goes where worldwide.
Yeah. But yeah, so
Bro, this
and-
chair is so uncomfortable.
yeah, well, you couldn't afford the new one, so
Fuck
deal with
no, I
it.
couldn't. I know, I gotta wait. I'll eventually afford the new one. I was telling Fox, Beltane, I want those really big, comfy office chair. Like,
I just want one of those like it sits at like an incline, and it's literally just like one of those big circle chairs. That's what I want.
I know it. No, but I want one of those like real big, nice, comfy office chair. I'm gonna talk to some people that I know. I'll be like, hey, if you have this and you plan on throwing away, don't throw it away because I want it. I need it. Give it to me.
Mhm.
Cause,
I wouldn't mind a new chair either. I
bro,
know
you couldn't fit a
nobody
new
can
chair if
see
you
it 'cause I'm
wanted to.
definitely hiding it under my arms. Uh, my chair's starting to fall apart. It's the arms are
Oh, I
cracking,
forgot
and
to do that. I'll do that
um,
tonight.
you guys normally don't see it, but the back is starting to crack here too. So my hair gets caught in these little cracks. in
my
the
arm, my
leather.
armrest literally looks like my kid came and
Plasticky
chewed it.
bullcrap this is.
That's what it looks like. He came and like, it's kind of what it looked like. But yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Well, and
The
then
arms of mine started because my cat.
Oh,
I'm sure
scratched on
everybody, anybody that knows from my
Well,
previous place of residence,
this
Ebony
chair, I
likes
think
her claws in my chair.
any cat likes that. But this chair, I think it's plasticky over like a steel. Like it's not even a steel frame. It's just like a plastic frame. Cause the armrests
not
that
even
are
a steel
supposed to
frame.
sit high so that I can actually put my arms to rest aren't anymore. They're literally so they're supposed to be like this. It's like this. They're like spread
Yeah,
out
they're
and
like
like
falling
down.
to the side.
Like
Yep.
fuck, man. I want just to be comfortable.
Yeah, fortunately for me, mine are drilled into the side of the chair, because that's just how it comes. They are
It's a
not
frame
adjustable,
though.
but it's all wood.
Oh, it's all
So
wood.
like
Okay.
now that it's like giving up and the seat bottom is now like sinking in more, it's starting to crack along those
Mm.
the wooden frame parts. So like up at the front, it goes up to the front and then obviously goes around to the bottom. The wood frame pieces are just like sticking out, and then the rest of it is like down here now. It's just like so. Yeah,
Well,
mine's definitely falling apart. I need a new one, but no chance
I
I can
just
afford that
need to
anytime
get mine to the house.
yeah, he's got his. Just got to get it to his house. But
I have
so
a high back leather executive chair.
I
Ooh,
want one of
that
those.
sounds
Yeah,
nice.
yeah. Same thing I said. Ooh. We'll eventually see it on when we do more of this.
Yeah,
We're gonna see the transition
not
from what
helping my
he's
back.
in. Yeah, we'll see the transition from what he's in to the real big nice chair. Tomberry, you need to get a camera. Again.
Yeah, I know.
Again,
I know.
what,
Well, he tried streaming
excuse me,
too,
what
but
happened to the first
that
one?
didn't go too well either.
I gotta get my own place first, to be completely honest.
Yeah,
before I can start
two
streaming.
more months for me. Actually,
Hey, you
less
lucky
than that
son of a bitch.
now.
2 more months,
Less
and
than
you have
that
a new
now,
place
but
of living.
no. New
Do
stream
you have a
place.
house?
Yeah, I already have a house.
I know this.
I'm gonna have a new place of streaming. I'll have an open more
okay, got
area,
what you meant.
and then hopefully, now that the stream is kind of settled, I want to test the stream one more time, not the podcast because I'm not playing a game, but I do want to test the stream one more time so then I can do the one chip challenge and go bald and shave.
Yeah.
I saw him take his hat off, so I'm like, I need to shave
I
because
I
I
beat
reached.
you to it.
Yeah, he beat me to it. Well, so I reached the goal, and like so for my actual stream, aside from this, I gotta put this on the schedule every other Monday. But it's a big reason to why I want to do it, to shave. And it's not just I make this goal, I'm gonna do it. It's just a bigger reason than that, but it's a fun reason. So it's a bigger reason and a more wholesome reason. But I'm also gonna take the one chip challenge just cause. But yeah, I got all the machines finally.
Wait, machines?
Yeah, the shaving machines, and my mom gave me
Oh.
Oh.
all her spare beauty
Yeah,
salon
everybody's
stuff.
like, "What are you talking about?"
Yeah, I
Yeah,
have
that's
this
what
machines.
I have the giant chainsaw machine that is just gonna buzz cut my whole head.
Yeah, right,
It's
yeah.
just, huh?
When I went
No,
through
it's not an
the
electric
cancer
razor.
treatment, I lost my hair.
Yup.
Like
Should be.
all of
That's
it.
usually that's usually the
Sorry, she's correcting me to what was it? An electric razor.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Yep. It's the biggest goddamn machine you've ever seen.
Yeah. Well, and and that's that's one of the biggest
13
reason
men carry that thing
I
over
want to
my
do it.
house.
Fox is because of that. I know I met. Well, I've lost people to it, and I've met people that have lost, and obviously gained it back. But to me, yeah, I made the goal, but when I go to shave, my biggest thing is because I also know a lot of people that got bullied because of that. You know, it's like they have no control over it and they got bullied for it. So, and my biggest thing is for that. It's just it's I'm not big enough to have donation streams and stuff like that, but
Not
if
yet.
not yet, but I'm gonna start with what I feel would be appropriate, and that's why. Besides my brother also saying, "Oh, hey, you should go bald when you get to 20 subscribers,"
Yeah,
and then it
man.
fucking
I mean, you're
happens,
like halfway there.
bro.
The
I'm
whole time.
past halfway
Half-
there. I'm at
what do you
80.
mean halfway there?
Halfway here. They pretty
Oh,
much lost all the hair
oh,
already.
my halfway here. Yeah,
Oh.
it's like
Oh,
halfway
I
here,
missed-
but
I missed
so
you
there's a
Pokemon.
big reason behind it. So, um, but yeah. So this is a little bit of what our podcast is gonna look like. A lot of paranormal, a lot of supernatural talk, and a lot of shenanigans. Cause why the fuck not, right?
Yeah, man. That's the best part of the podcast. Just talking shit. man.
That's different.
Dude, we always talk a lot of shit.
That's how it is, man. That's how it is.
It's the
That's
best
how we
part of
gotta
it.
be.
Yeah, I'm over here with fucking books. I got too much books. Too much books. But
Too many.
anybody wants to say anything else? And I think we're good here. I have to work this a little bit later. But anybody else got something to say that wasn't mentioned that we missed on this? I know we're gonna have a lot more guests coming. We're gonna have a lot more reading, like I just read about the Ouija.
Yep.
I'm kind of hopeful that other people join us from chat because I think just any old random person just popping into the stream, seeing the stream title and going, "Oh, that sounds interesting," and then they realize that they can just come on the stream and tell their story, I think would be super cool. So
Yep.
if anybody in chat or watching this or listening to this, whatever it is that you are doing, wants to come by
Join
and
us.
actually join us, please feel free. That is exactly what we're here for, and we welcome it fully.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Everybody's gonna have their own thing. It we don't have to
You
believe it. We
don't.
don't have to like it.
Yup.
We don't have to even
Agree
know
on
about
it.
what maybe it was.
Well, I mean, you
But
don't even have to believe in it. We just want to hear your side of things. Like, for example, my brother's 50-50. Neil is. Do you even believe in the paranormal?
um,
There we go. I
It's
knew I
ki-
was
it's-
missing something. I
it's
know.
kind of a
We all talked about it in the very beginning. I was like, something's missing here.
Yeah, I missed like almost the first hour, so I have no idea what
Oh.
you guys talked about originally
You on the
until
call.
I came in 5 minutes before I got it set up. So, um, it's obviously it's kind of a tough question to answer because unless it's like, oh yes, of course, I had my wall fan burst into flames for no reason beside
Yeah,
me.
like me.
You know, like I have had no such paranormal experiences.
But do you believe in it?
I mean, it's kind of hard to believe in something that's not really happened to you. You
Okay,
know?
fair enough. But
well,
you're 50-50 though. But I mean, considering you have had shit happen to you,
I've had experiences, but I'm really, I'm
super
skeptical of
sketchy
everything.
on it.
I like thinking logically over like spiritually or emotionally. I think
Which is fair. Which we're gonna bring your ass up here, and we're gonna make you. We're gonna investigate. So,
yeah.
I mean,
just
I'm,
and-
I'm down with that. You know.
yeah, he's
Give me a
always
chance.
been down to that.
I'm a very literal person and a
Literally,
very
he is a very
rational
literal person.
Yeah. I'm a very rational and literal person. Um, Usually, unless it happens, there's no reason to believe in it. But obviously, there are things that you're taught and you learn throughout your life, and it's like math. Everybody knows
Fuck
math.
math.
You can't be like, oh, math doesn't
Nah,
exist
math is
because I don't
great.
know what it is. It's like it's there. It's real. I promise. Whereas like supernatural is like a lot of people have their own experiences, and then a lot of people don't have their own experiences, and it's just like, well, I haven't had any, but that doesn't mean that I haven't actually seen things happen that
Right.
can't be explained. Like I've seen live video recordings of people like um there's this one, they were investigating a haunted house or whatever it was. I think it was maybe a hotel or something, and they were kind of like going down the stairway of it.
Watch it be the
And
same
it's
hotel.
a multi. Yeah, no, no, no. I don't watch like any TV shows about it or anything. It's
Oh.
just some random episode at some point that I happen to catch a part of, and they're recording obviously in the dark, so it's all under the night vision camera, so everything's green and black. But the guy, the cameraman standing behind, and the guy is walking forwards. He's going down the hallway. They enter the stairway. He starts uh, going
Well, we're
down the
almost done. So.
stairs, and this handprint is pressed into the guy's back and like shoves him down the stairs. And it's like you can't not believe that.
True,
There's
yeah.
no without doing like CGI, there's no way to imprint a hand on somebody's back and force them to move. Like
Not
there
unless you
there
slap them beforehand.
well, yeah,
Well, and
that's what I mean is like, do you know how much editing you'd have to
Right,
go
right.
through to pretend that you're
And you know
falling
how hard
downstairs
you have
in
to
a
hit somebody?
staircase that you haven't recorded in yet? Place yourself in the video, cut it so that your body's there, so that your actual body isn't there.
Too much work, yeah.
It's there's way like, I understand the concept of like, yeah, it could be faked, but I also understand there's just like, I literally just watched a handprint appear on the back of the guy's shirt, and then him fly down a set of stairs. You don't throw a cast member down a set of stairs like
yeah,
for a video,
Right.
unless it's specifically trained or whatever. You're actually making a video
Stunt
production.
double,
These guys
yeah.
were live streaming the video, and I watched him get thrown down the stairs and this handprint on his back right beforehand. And it's like, it's not that I don't believe it, it's just I personally have never had any experiences like that, but I
Right.
also don't delve too deeply into it. I have my own set of things that I do believe in, like a higher power, and my tarot card readings that I do for people, and I haven't done one for myself in quite some time, but when I do them for myself, I tend to believe in them, and so
Beltane can do one
it's
for you. We can have one
yeah.
live to show people.
I am so I don't remember which one of you it was. It was either Beltane or it was you, Toby. Um, one of you, yeah, you. I see you down there, pointing fingers at me.
Taco Bell.
um, but yeah, so I don't remember which one of you it was I talked to. I think it was Beltane. I could be wrong, but it was I have a friend who also does tarot card readings, except for her, she has a guiding spirit, and her
yeah,
guiding spirit is the one, she basically channels it, and the guiding spirit from its own, from the supernatural realm, the supernatural behind the veil,
Yep.
as
yeah,
it were, for as Beltane explained earlier. It channels the information that she needs to understand and to guide other people through her card readings. And she, ooh, that's not good. Don't do that.
Don't spill shit again.
Sorry,
Like that
I
one
have my
time.
I have my phone sitting on a pile of my cards here for Magic that I'm planning to make a deck with, and all of it just started.
Peter.
And I'm like, oh god, don't. I've
No,
done
not
that enough
Jenga.
times. Yeah.
Not
Well, it's
it's a 100
it's
card
like
pickup game.
it's like 130 cards, and a lot of them are actually expensive cards. And so I really don't want them like falling into my trash can with pizza plate and
This is why my Yu-Gi-Oh
used
cards,
napkins and
expensive
stuff in
Yu-Gi-Oh
it.
cards, are put away.
So, well, I did. I've done it twice. Look,
He puts
I
them
have
away and then puts them
I
back
have
on his
2
desk.
full boxes of these that I just put away, and then these are all the ones that I just went through earlier in the stream there,
Oh,
and all the ones from the other just loose packs laying around are now sitting on my table as well. So it's like I'm really trying, but there's so many. I don't have a problem, I swear.
sure. So okay,
Sure,
that
sure, sure.
Anybody who's watching, we're not just connected because of the paranormal. We also game. A
yeah,
couple of us do Magic. We've got some Pokemon card gamers. I'm into Dungeons and Dragons and Pathfinder, and
I'm starting Dungeons and Dragons, and I love storytelling, so that's why I'm into it.
And I
I
run the campaign that one and that one are in.
one of them.
Oh, sorry, that one and that one. I
we're
forget
we're
my
in camp.
gamers.
We're in like 2 campaigns. I'm in this guy's campaign and Beltane's campaign, and
Yep.
it's fun. I like Ever Escaped. Yeah,
I just don't have time for Beltane's campaign, unfortunately.
dude.
Occasionally I try and stop in and like listen, but that was only probably for the first 2 weeks. I haven't been in since.
I gotta go
So
in. I
about the
hopefully I got enough time tomorrow. I
well,
should.
about
I
the
got
only days
everything
that I
set
have
up.
off are
So
Monday and Tuesday nights, and now I have just Tuesday nights.
yeah,
And
yeah. Well,
Beltane's campaign being on a Tuesday is not
this
what I
is
wanted to fill it with. Sorry,
every
man.
other Monday. So
Like-
you'll have some Mondays
Oh,
free.
all right, okay. Every other Monday and Tuesdays after work
Yup.
are my only times that I actually have time to myself at this point. I suppose
Well,
Thursdays too.
well,
Thursday
no,
and
because
Friday
that's
I stream,
Retro
yeah.
Thursday. And we've been
Yeah.
doing some Pokemon Fusion, even though I should be keeping to my horror games.
I tried. I got it on, and then you never.
I have
It-
to reinstall it because I
your
had.
kids
So
started running around or whatever, and you never got it actually started on that.
well, my computer was
last
having
week.
issues. My
Oh
computer
yeah,
was yeah,
that's what it was. Right.
and so I had to fix it, and I think I fixed the problem. I still have to run a stream with an actual game playing, not just us sitting here and talking, because that's what I've been doing, sitting here talking, looking at up articles and stuff.
I'm afraid to even try to turn
Yeah,
OBS on and play anything, because even just like we Deadlands and I played Warzone what a couple of days
like
ago,
4
some days ago
or
now.
whatever. Yeah.
And so I played one more game before I went to bed myself. He had just gotten off. I was just gonna play one more game. And literally in the middle of the game, it had been running fine all night. In the middle of the game, some weird glitch happened where one of the AI enemies got stuck in the floor and was like, his gun was just like, and it's just like, okay, weird, interesting. I'm gonna get a quick recording of that. So I turned on OBS, I hit record, I went back
And
to the
poof.
game, I scoped in and scoped out so you could see that it wasn't in my scope, but when you scoped out, the guy like arms were sticking out of the ground and he was shooting at me, and then my game crashed. Like I got like all of 4 seconds of trying to record, and then it just crashed my computer. So I'm afraid to even turn OBS on and try and do anything with it at this point because I know that it sucks down a lot more power than some of my other stuff.
I actually got
I'm
a
sure it would be fine
funny.
for small games, but
I'm gonna have a clip of me game in the middle of a game. I go to shoot somebody and the whole game shuts down. Literally,
Oh,
and I
funny.
caught it. I caught it on recording. I go to scope in and poof, game magically disappears.
and then it's just like black. It just goes
Black,
into
and
the
then it's
scope,
back
and then
to
it's
my
just
home
empty.
screen, and I'm like, I didn't press any buttons. What the heck? All right, but I guess we'll end this tonight. For everybody that's watching later on YouTube, because this is gonna be on YouTube, I have a YouTube
Oh, yeah,
specifically
bro.
for this.
God dang it.
I will have to post the link on my Twitch channel.
Ha,
But
goodness, twice.
if you guys are watching this after the fact, I was gonna go with that. Oh my god, I have really bad ADHD. I was going somewhere with that. If you guys are watching after the fact, welcome. If you got your own experience, go ahead and comment down below. And if you like it, go ahead and leave a like. And obviously, subscribe if you're enjoying this. I promise the logos are going to get fixed. I got to figure something out. It's expensive. My
Logos?
first one was very effective. Yeah, my regular Twitch logo was really expensive. And I got to make another Twitch logo for
Oh,
this one.
Right. Fair enough, yeah.
So, but we'll figure something out. I promise not gonna be empty. But welcome to episode 1. It really was just introductions. We got a little bit into the topic on how it'll be. A lot more than half of it, obviously, it's mainly paranormal. So if you have stories, link down below your comment down below. We'll have a Reddit if you guys want to say it in Reddit anonymously. Or if you want to be part of it, just join the streams every other Monday starting today. Every other Monday, if you join the stream, I will put requests up so you guys can request to join and tell us your story. You do not need your camera. I will make it audio only. So if you wish to speak, you can speak. If you don't want to, type it out. I'll read it out. You can hide your name.
Or
we don't
one of us will, at least.
Yeah, whoever's watching this, because they're watching
Whoever,
on my
yeah.
side of the stream. So if I miss something,
Well,
they'll
sure,
catch
yeah.
it. But you guys got
Missed half
anything
of
else
my
to say?
messages when I came in.
No, I read them.
Oh, okay, so he read all of the
I
messages.
read
He
them
just
all.
ignored half of them. All right, I see how it is.
All right. Anything else from you guys? I can't hear him. Wait. I don't know why I say wait. Okay, go. All right, I think we're good.
Oh, yeah. I was gonna say he was there and he cut out halfway. So if you can hear any of us, we can't hear you.
All right, now I can hear you guys. All right, we're good. We're back in
Okay.
business.
Oh,
So
and
what I
you.
was
Oh no,
saying-
Beltane disappeared for me. I
Oh.
could hear you the whole time.
Oh, all right. Are we all back in business? We're trying to end this. I guess they don't.
See,
Yeah, I
got
hear all you
everybody.
guys just
All
fine.
right, all right, all right, all right.
Okay.
Let's end it.
So what I was saying was that
He's cut off for me again. That's fine. Just keep going.
Outro time, all of you, everybody, every direction.
All right, are we back in business?
So,
Sure.
Okay.
I got one. I got no Beltane. I got no Deadlands.
What
So,
about now?
Cool.
Oh,
Guess it's
man.
my turn. Outros. This isn't my stream, so I don't have to do an outro, but I'm going to anyway. We were here, all of us. We happened, and it was fun.
Yep.
There we go.
And hopefully,
Agreed.
a lot of us come back, and at least some of you join. That would be great.
Yeah, we would
uh,
love to hear from you guys. And again, if you're watching it on YouTube, comment down below.
He would. I don't care. Don't.
And in the description, I will leave a link to my Twitch channel. So come and follow.
Please
I'll
don't
see.
judge me.
I'll see whenever somebody follows. And so next time we're live, we'll shout you guys out. I'll shout you guys out. And if you got your story, I'll read your story. So the more the merrier.
sounds
Exactly.
good.
And I didn't hear Beltane's outro. I'll probably hopefully get in a recording.
I don't hear Beltane, so.
Oh,
You can't hear me now?
Oh, there we go. Okay.
yeah, I was going to say, I
can't-
can hear them
Yeah.
all. All right,
I-
Tomberry.
I saw your camera speaking, and there was no speaking going on, so just wanted to make sure there.
I think next time we should probably just maybe do it on Discord because I think that Twitch has been having a lot of problems.
Yeah, I'm gonna test it out. I'm gonna play around with it. I think it's not Twitch. I think it's more of my internet, cause you guys are kind of piggybacking off of links right now.
Yep.
So
Yeah. I mean,
So-
Symbol's been having problems with Fox, and you've been having problems pretty much with everybody. So
yeah, we'll try Discord. I think Discord might be a little easier. I'll just have
Yeah.
to reset this up how this is. Instead of being web browsers like it is right now, I I don't know how I'm gonna make it work. I did it once, I think, I think we did it once. But anyways, yeah, we'll try it out. Tomberry, you got anything to say?
No, not really. Pretty much everybody said what needs to be said, really. So,
Perfect.
He also doesn't stream and doesn't have a proper outro that he wants to do.
Well, he streamed like once, and then he's like, I'm done.
Amazing. Good job.
yeah.
Better than
One
like
time-
98% of the rest of the population. So
It's a hard thing. I've been doing it for 7 years. It's a hard thing. So
I've been at it for 2 years now, actually.
I know it's
Um,
crazy.
No, I actually I got one of those like this on this day in whatever year on Facebook thing, and
Oh
it
shit!
was my first post, and they're
Of
like,
when you went.
Is this important to you?" And it's just like, "Hey, I'm starting to stream because I've got nothing else to do. If anybody wants to come by, this is my stream handle."
I am an
That
idiot,
one.
and I
So-
deleted my congratulations. You have become an affiliate email. I am so pissed off at
Wow.
myself
Wow.
that I lost,
why?
but I got it on
How?
Twitter. I got it on Twitter. That's all that matters.
Okay.
I got it on Twitter. I said it to my friend. I'm like, congratulations on this day.
Uh,
You have become an affiliate. My next
until
goal is
Elon Musk
partner.
shuts it down.
Whew. All right.
And then
All right,
it's
guys.
it.
You guys have a
Fun.
good night. I hope you guys enjoy the
All right.
stream, and we'll see you next time.
Later.
See ya.
Peace.